storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm.
And the music was good and the music was loud.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. I'm Duvall alongside Cody Nevin, and even Stephen McMillian is popping in and out just a little bit here. We're here with the Bluegrass Cup Series, and it kind of looks as though my overlays are going to want to do some funky stuff here. So, here in championship round final four, the race of the final four, it all comes down to this. And as soon as I get the overlays cooperating a little bit better, I will get us the final four rundown. Cody's being awfully quiet.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just kind of taking it in. I haven't covered any of the bluegrass asphalt stuff with you guys, so this is gonna be kind of cool for me to jump in and championship night as well. That's definitely a thing. So it's gonna be an exciting night. I believe we're at Phoenix, correct?
We are indeed at Phoenix. So far at the top of the charts here in qualifying, we have Cedric Hunter, Alex Huffman, and Brandon Holder, your top three. Yep. Jonathan Cogswell out on track now for the Lucky Ducks, number 27. Out of Plainsfield, I believe that's North Carolina. In his Edwards Racing Setups number 27.
This sharp looking Ford Mustang we got out there. Kind of candy apple red maroon on that car.
His first lap, he will go fourth quick with a 27.81. See what he can do here for his second lap. Actually, that would be his third lap. His second lap did not count. Also out on track, we have, never mind, we had the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. But we do also have the 88 of Gabriel Ellison out on track now. Another
That's
driver.
going to be the 77 of Gabriel Ellison.
What did I say?
The 88.
77 of Gabriel Ellison. The Shady Designs Chevy Camaro. I don't know where I got 88 from.
He's been having a pretty good season all season long. Gabriel Ellison has in that 77 machine. I mean, you know, if the trucks and Xfinity was any relations this week, you know, how drivers perform, I expect him to be up front, battling for that win tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
That's another thing too that goes along with racing is streaks. When you're hot, it seems like you just carry momentum into the next round. Definitely something you want to have during the playoffs, not only the final four. You know.
Well, this is our championship round, but Gabriel Ellison was quick time. Mikey Neal Jr. takes over quick time now in his 8 machine. As I say that, Doug Newbigging will take quick time once again as he goes sliding on his second lap. So we've got Doug Newbigging, Mikey Neal Jr., Gabriel Ellison, Cedric Hunter, and Alex Huffman, your current top 5. Ryan Terry in the 13, out on track now out of Owensboro, Kentucky.
You got a big DeWalt on the side of that car. Definitely a good sponsor to have on the side of that Chevy Camaro.
If I remember right, I believe we spoke to him once before, and he said that he works for DeWalt, and that's where that one comes from.
Oh, very nice.
If I remember right, I could be mistaken. It might have been somebody else.
Well, he's looking to pick up a little bit more here, coming to the line on his second lap. He's sitting 10th currently on the charts. Coming across the line, he's going to clock in. He's going to stay 10th quick.
He will remain 10th quick with a 27.81, tying Jonathan Cogswell for that position.
So the final four going into tonight, BJ, you know, you got Gabriel Ellison, Alex Huffman, Cedric Hunter, and Mikey Neal. And Mikey Neal, he's had some really good runs. One at Martinsville.
Yeah, with that win, he locked himself in. He has been on an absolute tear here lately.
He won at Charlotte, and Huffman won at Martinsville last week. So I mean, he's been on a tear. Huffman been doing a good job. He got, you know, Yeah, Cedric Hunter has been a strong runner all season long. BJ, I mean, he has. Let's see here. Cedric Hunter has 2 wins on the season. Mikey Neal with 5 wins on the season. Gabriel Ellison with 2 wins on the season, and Alex Huffman winning last week, 1 win on the season.
And these guys have been up towards the front, seems like all season long. Whoop. Well, we went to go to Tony Iverson. And Iverson having a little bit of issues there. He'll reset and get another go at it here. And we actually have Tony's on board here tonight. He's gotta readjust his gloves before he can go back out and get that qualifying running.
Maybe making a few little last-minute adjustments there before he heads back out on the track.
Well, these guys are actually all on fixed setups, so they'll all be running the same thing out here.
Definitely keeps it competitive.
And that will conclude qualifying. Take a look at our qualifying results on the board. And
Give it up
coming
for
home,
Doug Newbegin.
give it up for Doug Newbegin coming home quick time. Mikey Neal Jr. second, Gabriel Ellison third, Cedric Hunter fourth, and Alex Huffman fifth. We'll take a look at our starting grid. Let's see if I can get rid of that tower here, so it's not in our way here. And starting on pole tonight, we got the number 7 from the Lucky Ducks, Doug Newbegin. To his outside, Team Syndicate number 8, Mikey Neal Jr.
The inside of row number 2 is going to be the 3-car Gabriel Ellison. And starting in that 4th spot is going to be the 71 of Cedric Hunter from Category 5 Esports.
Row number 3 on the inside, Elite Motorsports number 2, Alex Huffman. To his outside, the 15 out of New England, Team New England, it is Matt Grenier.
In that 7th spot, we're going to have David Farmer in the 84. And to his outside, we're going to have the number 31 of Brandon Holder.
Row number 5 on the inside, Indiana's Lucky Duck Motorsport number 27, Jonathan Cogswell. To his outside, the Bluegrass Reapers number 13, Brian Terry.
In that 11th spot, we're going to have Tony Iverson in the 72 from Highside Hustlers Motorsport. And starting in 12th, we're going to have Scott Fritz from T-Berry Motorsports in the number 1.
And that does round out our field.
Small field.
12.
Maybe we get some tight racing, you know?
Very,
pretty good show.
very small field, and I can take Tony Iverson's camera off the screen now. Championship night, it all comes down to this. Unfortunately, Steve having some technical issues, so y'all get to deal with me for the night here on as producer. And green flag is out. Doug Newbegin off to an excellent jump right off the bat. Now starting single file out already in the top 4, top 5 cars. And these guys, they have a lot of racing, 312 laps. They're going to take it easy here to start with. Side by side now for that 3rd position. Cedric Hunter looks the inside of Mikey Neal Jr. down into turns 1, 3, and 4.
Hunter riding around in that 3rd spot. He's just going to ride around. Like you said, BJ, all these guys are going to take it really easy. Obviously, 312 laps. Not a big field. No reason to make any drastic, crazy moves early on. Yeah, I'm anticipating just, some side-by-side racing, and should be a good show tonight here, BJ. It's like we said, small field, but should be fun to watch.
Absolutely should be. You know, Phoenix is the tightest technical track. We've got 2 stage breaks tonight, one on lap 60, one on lap 120. And then from there to the end of the race. A little bit further back, you got Jonathan Cogswell. He's already up 2 spots, looking around Matt Grenier. He will get that position, moves himself into 7th. Still not a lot of racing going on just yet throughout the field. Everybody just kind of relaxing right now. You got Doug Newbigging leading. You got Gabriel Ellison 2nd, Cedric Hunter 3rd. David Farmer back there in that 4th spot. He's gaining a little bit of ground there on Cedric Hunter right up to his back bumper through turns 1 and 2. You got Mikey Neal Jr. a little bit further back there. Alex Huffman behind him. Jonathan Cogswell, Matt Grenier, Tony Iverson, and Brian Terry rounding out your top 10 in the field right now. Brandon Holder, just a bit further back, he's having a little bit of connection issues, and Scott Fritz does not appear to be on track. That's a little bit surprising.
Yeah, a little sad not to see the one machine of Scott Fritz out there. Definitely on there, turning a bunch of laps with that guy. Heck of a nice guy. Tough break for him in the last race of the season. I got my eyes glued to that 77. I heard Steve talking a little bit about him in the Xfinity in the Truck Series. Been running up front, having a good run of late. As he's actually tracking down your leader right now, coming into 3 and 4. The 7 of New Bigging, down around that yellow line. 77. Little bit, running just a little bit higher up. See if you can track him down.
You see the different lines being ran there. You know, we talked about it throughout the week. It is a multiple groove track, but it really seems as though in the Xfinity and the Truck Series we saw, you get running that high side. It is multiple grooves, but the high side, if you get running it, you get comfortable up there. It's very hard to pass somebody running that high side because they get the momentum off the corner so strong, get such a strong run coming off that it's just really hard to make the pass. You got Tony Iverson now taking a look to the inside of Matt Grenier. That's for that 8th spot. Iverson will complete the pass now through 3 and 4, heading to the stripe. Your top 5 remains Newbigging, Ellison, Hunter, Farmer, and Huffman. You know, you got 3 of the Lucky Duck drivers out in the top 3 right now. Cogswell, the other Lucky Duck driver in the field, he currently sits in that 6th spot. These guys have been a very strong team all season long, and right now they're showing why. I believe 2 of them right now, if I'm not mistaken, are in the playoffs. No, I take that back. Only not 2 of the Lucky Duck drivers. Those 2 drivers currently sit 2nd and 3rd in the field. That's Ellison and Hunter right now.
Well, Ellison, he's definitely looking to make a statement here tonight, then, because he's definitely putting the pressure on Newbigging here. Is a 7, he was catching him. 7 able to pull away a little bit more away now. As you know, I haven't personally ran the next gens around Phoenix here, but it makes you wonder when these tires are going to start wearing in. I mean, I would imagine you see Newbigging on the bottom. He's not worried about tires right now. He's trying to wheel this thing around this track and just get a good lead. Trying to hold him off from there. But it makes you wonder, tire strategy here, small field, lots of laps, what the game plan is here if you're in that Final 4.
And the other thought you got to think for Newbigging, 2 of his teammates behind him are in the playoffs. Taking a block and letting those 2 race it out for the win for the season championship, that could be something in the back of his mind as well. I mean, everything comes down to this. This is the final race of the season. Best finish wins the championship. And if it comes down to, you know, holding back, say, David Farmer or Alex Huffman to allow these 2 to race by themselves, is that a possibility you think that he might go and do that?
I mean, I think there's a bunch of scenarios that would run through my mind if I was out there and I had 312 laps to go. You know, that could be a possibility, though. I mean, I used to follow NASCAR quite a bit back a few years ago. There's definitely a lot of strategy that could go into this. So yeah, that block is definitely one, you know, not out of the realm of possibilities.
12 laps in the books here already. Laps taking off really quickly, right about 28 seconds per lap for these guys. David Farmer now putting pressure once again on the back bumper of Cedric Hunter. I'm trying to get in Cedric Hunter's head a little bit here. Try to force a mistake, get the opportunity for that pass. You see a little bit further back, just behind them, about 3 car lengths behind Farmer, is the furthest back of our playoff drivers, the 2 of Alex Huffman. He's going to be looking for a good finish here tonight.
Absolutely. As you see the 84, I mean, you're right, BJ. He's definitely pushing the issues. He might have just brushed the wall there, even coming out of 4 there. Pushing a little early on. Definitely wants that spot, or maybe Hunter. Maybe he's just holding on, saving them tires. Make the 84 try to make a move and get around him. He doesn't have to move, but you start holding somebody up too long, bump and run becomes an issue or a thing.
And as you say that, the 2 of Alex Huffman took a peek to the inside of the 84 of David Farmer. Now Farmer's going to return that one to Cedric Hunter. He's going to complete the pass. Hunter now under pressure from Alex Huffman, side by side across the stripe. Hunter still has the position, but Huffman is there. He's got the preferred line on the inside for everybody's been running so far in this race. Give the position to Alex Huffman now through turns 1 and 2. That time Huffman does complete the pass and put Hunter back into that 5th spot.
Yeah, Hunter falling back a little bit. I guess it just, lots of laps. You said 2 stage breaks here tonight. Right now, if I was out there, I would be trying not to get wrecked, honestly, especially if you're in that final 4. Lots of laps here. 2 stage breaks, just kind of ride around. Is there stage points, correct? Or is there not?
Not stage points don't really matter here in the final race. So
I suppose. Yeah.
It is all down to who can have the best finish at this point. Doug Newbigin continues to lead the race. He has pulled out to right about a 7/10 lead over Gabriel Ellis and his teammate running there in 2nd. David Farmer moved his way into that 3rd spot. He's not a playoff driver, but he's got something to prove here tonight. I feel like all these guys that aren't in the playoffs, they still want those good finishes. They still want to prove a point of, hey, just because I'm not in the playoffs, just because I'm not in the final round of championship drivers, I still have it. I still am a contender. And getting that good finish. You mentioned a little bit ago, if you get that good finish, it's a momentum carrier into the next season.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, going on a good note. Definitely something you end this season on a good note. You just don't get down on yourself no matter what the end result. Go out there and prepare for next season. Bluegrass, they're running 3 asphalt series and 1 dirt series. They got all kinds of stuff going, a little bit of something for everybody. They do a good job, good series from what I've seen. Like I said, I haven't personally raced in this series, but I've definitely watched a bunch of it. It's an honor to call some of it now as championship night here at Phoenix. Definitely, you want to go out on a good note. If you're out in that car right now, I think you want to just end, no matter what the end result, whether you're in the playoffs or not. I think everybody out here should definitely be trying to go for that win tonight. There's a riding on board with the 71 Hunter into 3 and 4. These guys still rolling the bottom side. I haven't really seen anybody use that top line yet. I think that we'll start seeing that more and more when the tires start to fade. Yeah.
It's definitely a thought. The whole field pretty much single filed out now. Newbigin continuing to pull away a little bit. We're right about just past a third of the way through stage number 1 here. Can't help but wonder how much. Can't help but wonder just how much these guys are, just sitting back and relaxing right now, and not wanting to use up their equipment, not wanting to use up all their tires. That way they can have some in the bank later in the race. Mike Neal Jr., one of our final 4, riding right now in that 7th position. And he didn't have the start to this race that he was really looking for. He's back 5 spots since he started. Do you think that might be a strategy call in and of itself to fall back this early to relax and not try to stay up towards the front.
Yeah, I think he's probably out there just cutting laps right now. You know, staying away from everybody. You know, not destroying his car. Right. You know, that's one thing you don't want a junk race car out there. Yeah, or you know, could be strategy. Yeah, so I think that's a strategy of itself. You know, just staying calm, staying cool. You know, you got a long way to go. Stay out of the wrecks, cut some laps. You know, try to bring home the win at the end of the day. Or, you know, there's drivers in the field right now that are just pushing. I know we see a Hunter and them guys up there having a battle. One driver being shuffled all the way up as we right on board now with Tony Iverson. He's just cutting laps, hanging out.
Yeah, Iverson just relaxing here. There's not a lot of reason to press the issue this early in the race. That's for certain. And you see it right now. Tony Iverson doesn't look stressed at all right there behind the wheel. He's just kind of driving, minding his lines, minding his tires, sitting right now in that 8th spot.
Just hanging out, man. Got laps. Focused in. Back up front, these guys are. Oops, sorry, BJ. Back up front, these guys are still. Ellison's not letting them get away. That's for sure. He's keeping pace with them. 27, 28 laps in now.
Gap really has not changed over the last 10 laps. Still right about 7/10 of a second between Newbigging and Ellison. Our 4 playoff drivers right now. You've got Ellison sitting in 2nd. Hunter has moved his way back up into that 4th spot. Got back around Alex Huffman. Mikey Neal Jr. rides back there in the 7th position. And it's when do you think go time would be here in stage 1? When do you think go time is to try to get up to the front, knowing that caution is going to come, knowing that track position is going to mean a lot in the closing stages of this race? What's your thoughts on when to start pushing, try to get up towards the front?
I think knowing it'd be this championship round, if you're in the playoffs, I think it's being the car count that we have in this race particularly. I think you kind of just relax this first stage, use this one. I think at the end of stage 2, you're definitely going to want to be in front of this pack. I definitely wouldn't want to be laying off, that's for sure.
You race a lot of asphalt, Cody?
Absolutely not. I do. I run the fixed trucks and I run the fixed Xfinity. I just ran a bunch of Homestead. I won 2 truck races and 1 Xfinity race. Definitely not top split by any means.
Well, you've ran more asphalt than I have in the last couple of months.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm just a dirt late model guy, man. So this is definitely something new for me to call. It's,
yeah, you are definitely a dirt late model guy. Always hold me up.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, you've been on a roll lately, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I was gonna let you move. I was gonna let you slide on by that one time, and then yeah.
But still riding in our top 5 right now. It is Newbigging, Ellison, Farmer, Hunter, Huffman. Your top 5. Cogswell right now is starting to gain on Huffman, and Mikey Neal Jr. has picked up the pace. He's now caught up to these 2 cars, riding 5th and 6th right now. He's ready to get a move on, get moving up towards the front. It takes a look to the inside through turns 3 and 4 of Cogswell. He will take that position over now, looking to chase down Alex Huffman up there in front of him. Huffman right about a half a second ahead of Mikey Neal Jr. now. Oh, Huffman loose down to the bottom. Manages to save it. He got that apron a little bit. That's not really where you want to be. That's not a good position. When you
he just about lost in front of the field right there. That would have definitely been not a good way to start the race off.
It's try to get get a quick look at it here. It's definitely a bit of an eye-opener. You know, the tires, man, tires become such a big part of the game in these long races like this. You know, he just put a lot of heat in those tires getting loose like that. He's going to have to sit back, take it easy, take his time, cool his tires back down as much as he can, allow them to cool down, and try to get a run at it, try to get a go at it again. Still got a lot of race left to try to get some recovery done from that, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think he's just out there trying to picking up that little bit of extra speed, that little bit quicker lap time, you know, trying to track these guys down. As you see now, but now he's got pressure from the 15 of Granger. You know, I think he's lucky that there's stage breaks right now. You know, I think it's a good thing. Is now the 15. He's gonna look to the inside, and he's gonna make that pass coming out of 3 and 4. So now you wonder. '15 is going to continue to pull away. Huffman, yeah, he's I think he definitely burnt up those tires a little bit, or he's just maybe relaxing mind. He's just trying to get his mind set straight again. Because we have a long way to go, lap 37. In stage number 1 here at Phoenix for the Bluegrass Iracing Cup Series Championship Night, Final 4.
Plenty of racing to go. 23 laps left here in stage number 1. Back up towards the front, David Farmer. He's got Cedric Hunter back on his heels. Hunter catching him quite quickly as the stage is coming to a close. The gap from first to second, however, has increased to a full second between Newbigging and Ellison. Hunter now takes a look to the inside. Huge dive down onto the inside of the dog leg there. Gets a pass on David Farmer. That's going to move Hunter back into third. It's once again a lucky duck. 1, 2, 3.
Lucky Duck definitely running strong here at Phoenix. Definitely, I mean, like you said, they've been running good all season. Definitely putting on a showing here. Championship round, that's for sure. As the 84, he's still trying with that 71, but you know, we're on lap 40 now. Tire wear is definitely a factor right now. Tires are not once what they were.
They definitely aren't. We'll take a quick look at our lap, at our differences on lap times. You know, you got Gabriel Ellison running in second position. Cedric Hunter was faster by a decent margin, lap 36 and 37. And when Hunter was battling it out with David Farmer for 38 and 39, Ellison was a little bit quicker. This time, no pressure from David Farmer for Ellison, but Ellison still faster. I can't help but wonder if that dive down to the apron, just one shot down there, didn't put a little more wear on Hunter's tires than what he was expecting. David Farmer over a second slower on lap 40.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen off the pace. Hunter, he's hanging tough. Ellison's really, I mean, he hasn't really fallen off much at all. Newbigging. As now you see Ellison, last couple laps here, he's actually been quicker than your leader. Starting to reel him in a little again. Lap 43, coming to lap 43.
Yeah, both Ellison and Hunter have been quicker. Newbigging running right in the 29.0s, and it looks as though Ellison fairly consistently right up to lap 42 right there. Might have made a little mistake in that number 77, but he's been, you know, just under that 29-second mark, starting to gain some ground here in the closing stages. We got 18 laps to go now. We come out of turn number 4 right here, 17 to go, and man, Hunter that time quicker than both of those two drivers, running 1 and 2 right now on lap 42. We'll see what he does here. Once again, he is considerably quicker. Ellison now starting to fall off from that pace that he was running by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like Ellison's starting to fall off, and Hunter, he's put the hammer down. We were talking earlier about When is it time to go? Well, Hunter said it's time to go. That man is coming, and he is faster than your leader and your second place driver. He's decided I'm going to the front, and I'm going to try to get there now.
Yeah, we've seen him and a lot of the Lucky Ducks throughout the season. They'll start off up in the front and they'll either lead the entire race or they'll drop back. Almost seems like right about 10 positions a lot of times. They'll drop back and ride until close to the end of the stage, and then they're right there back into the top 3 for the closing laps of the stage. You'll see Lucky Ducks 1, 2, 3 right around that area almost every single time. Cedric Hunter appears to have done that once again here. We saw him fall back. He rode all the way back in that 7th position at one point in time. Now he's back up into that 3rd and tracking down the race leaders. Top 5 right now: Newbegin, Ellison, Hunter, Neal, and Farmer.
Wasn't Scott Fritz in the playoffs not too long ago, BJ?
Scott Fritz was in the playoffs last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got some questions for that man when I see him next. Why he's not out on this racetrack right now? Definitely would have been cool to see Scott run around in one of these cars. You know, me and you re-raced with him on the dirt oval side of things, but from what I hear, he's really good on this side of it too. So,
whoops. Yeah, you all got to see my trading
Secret
paints
sauce.
misclicked. Yeah, secret sauce. It's trading paints. It's not really much of a secret. You wanna see secret sauce? I can press the little key on my keyboard and completely change the color tone of the entire thing. But
there we go.
But we're looking at right now 13 laps remaining here in stage number 1. It's Newbegin, Ellison, Hunter.
Leader Big Bobble out of 4 there. Big Bobble. That's gonna let Ellison. He's gonna be right there now, coming. Big wiggle out of the 7. Sorry to cut you off there, BJ.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Just don't do it again. I mean,
yeah.
Take a look, see just what that does to his lap time. 0.2 slower on lap 48 than the lap prior from that. I'd say 46. He got a little loose there as well. So Ellison very quickly gaining ground on him. Newbegin does appear to be faster at the moment, but with the mistakes out of Newbegin, it is not taking Ellison hardly any time at all to start closing in on him.
No, definitely not. And as you see, we're running the same exact lap times there, as I think he's a little bit positive. But Hunter, he's in the, he was, 1-3 or 1-8-3 better. Hunter, he's not far behind Ellison either. As you look here on the screen, he's in the picture now too. So 3 cars definitely contending for the lead here at the end of the stage.
We hit the stripe here, just 10 remaining in stage number 1. Ellison is closing the gap rather quickly. Take a look at the times once again between our top 3 drivers, and 0.2 quicker that time by lap 49 and 48. 0.4 quicker than the top 2. He is absolutely flying right now in comparison to Newbegin and Ellison. This is what he's saved for. This is why he's set back. Does he have enough time to do it? We'll find out right now. The gap between Ellison and Hunter is 0.6 seconds. The gap from Ellison to Newbegin is 0.4 seconds.
Yeah, we were talking about it right away. Newbegin, he was on the gas right away. Shot out of a cannon. Great start. Ellison, he was there too. They battled for a while at the beginning of the stage, but then Ellison, he's like, I'm just going to back off and let you run, man. And that's what he did. And Hunter, he let them both go. And Hunter saved a lot. Hunter now is in the draft of the 77. So he's going to be there at the stage end. He doesn't make any mistakes. I think we might have a 3-car battle potentially coming to the line. Newbegin, he's definitely got some tire wear, though, because his tires are gone, or he made a major mistake. That bobble was definitely something to watch. And you can tell how much better Ellison is out of 3 and 4 compared to Newbegin. He closes up huge in the turn number 1. I think Newbegin is definitely better coming in and out of the dog leg. I think that's where he's making up his ground on Ellison, but definitely going to be some good racing here. Newbegin into 3 and 4. Ellison, about a quarter of a lane higher than your leader. Hunter, he's there now as well, as they got a lap car in front of him. That's a DeWalt car.
Yeah, it's going to be the 13 of Brian Terry. Just 10 cars left on track. Brandon Holder has decided to call it a night in the 31 machine, having a little bit of technical difficulties, connection issues for him there. So he's going to take it pit side and call it a night right now. Newbigging, Ellison, Hunter, those three drivers working around the 13 of Brian Terry in that DeWalt Chevrolet. I was expecting to see a little bit more gap closing for these guys with the lap traffic coming into play, but it actually looks as though Newbigging was able to pull away from Ellison a little bit more there. And Ellison and Hunter just kind of remained the same when they came by the lap car.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ellison's fallen off now. Newbigging gathered to back up. He figured it out. Hunter is definitely closing up on Ellison though. He's got a lot more tires on underneath him than these other guys do. Ellison slides up the hill a little bit. That's going to let Hunter. He's going to close even further in as he's at the bumper, the 77 into 3 and 4. He is there, BJ. That is that high line we're talking about.
First time we've seen somebody try the outside line. Looks like it's not going to be there for him just yet, though. I look forward to seeing him down to the inside here. He's not going to do it, just rides in behind. He started on that outside, cut down to the inside. I was really expecting to see that 71 get the run off the corner and shoot to the inside of Ellison, but he doesn't do it. Respects his teammate, falls back in behind. I can't help but wonder if Ellison didn't start pushing a little bit too early in that number 77 to catch back up to Newbigging and wore his tires out. Newbigging just kind of maintaining throughout the entire race. He hasn't put any extra wear on his tires. He hasn't really saved any either. Cedric Hunter saved, and you're seeing the effects of it right now. It's the inside of Ellison for that second position out of turn number 4. Hunter all the way down to the apron. Does, in fact, manage to clear Ellison. Now down into turn number 1. These guys single file it back out.
Big power move for the 71 there as he had a heck of a run and he carried it. We jump back a little further back. This guy's still trying to look for the run he wants. Neil. Yep. Mike
he
Neal
has moved his way into that 4th position. He's having a heck of a run, and I do apologize, Cody. I never got you a live timing link, so I will do that now.
That's all right, buddy. No worries. Yeah, he's definitely not having the run that he wants.
There you go. There's your live timing link.
Thank you. As he's closing back up, he's just now catching Terry coming out of 3 and 4. We're going to come to the stage break here shortly.
And when the leader of Doug Newbigging crosses the stripe right there, it is Newbigging will win stage number 1. Caution flag will fly. On the track, it's going to be Newbigging, Hunter, Allison, Neal, Farmer, Cogswell, Grenier, Huffman, Iverson, and Terry. Rounding out your 10 cars still on the track, your top 10 here in the stage. Newbigging, what a fantastic start to the championship night. Fortunately for him, he's not in the championship hopes anymore. Got knocked out of it last week along with Scott Fritz and David Farmer, if I'm not mistaken. Jonathan Cogswell was there until last week. Everybody coming down pit road. Looks like Brian Terry's going to stay out, trying to get his lap back. Who will be the lucky dog?
Yeah, you definitely want to be on the lead lap. Brian Terry puts us at 10 cars on the lead lap now. Newbigging slides into the pit stall. As you see the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. Big break, for him with the stage break. A huge break for this guy. We'll see what he can do coming in stage 2 as we're gonna have a race off pit road. Newbigging is going to hold off his teammate Cedric Hunter. Brian Terry. Oh, nope, sorry. Brian Terry is, in fact, the lucky dog. I wish I could have called some more of this stuff, BJ. This is actually interesting. This is...
Well, you're in luck. There's a seat open for next season.
Oh, really?
Well, stick around afterwards. I'd like to talk to you. Hopefully we can get Steve back here and we can have a little chat.
Yeah. That's... Absolutely. Yeah, it's... I'm a fan of the super speedways. You'd be, like Martinsville, Darlington, stuff like that. I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan of Phoenix, but there's some really cool tracks. You know, Bristol obviously get to experience that in asphalt and dirt now. Pretty cool.
I'm a big fan of Bristol Dirt, but you talk about super speedways. You know, I love super speedways too. I ran last Monday night at a super speedway, extremely late for me. I run in a league that's based out of the Northwest, so it's for me they run very, very late. Start time of the race isn't until 11 o'clock Eastern time, and it runs really late. With 2 laps to go, I was sitting in second coming out of turn number 4 to the checkered flag. I got turned. But hey, it was just hard racing. Can't really blame it on nobody. Everybody's pushing for that race win. And I was right there, had the momentum to get it. And just got turned a little bit by the driver behind me and shot down into the inside wall and then ended up finishing 12th. But hey, it is what it is. It's good fun. But hey, while we got a second, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll thank our sponsors: Roasted Gems Coffee, Nitro Racing, Huffman Designs, and I know that I am forgetting one. Y'all will have to forgive me. I don't have that fancy overlay that Steve does that tells me who all the sponsors were. I do apologize to the sponsor that I am forgetting. If you would, actually messaging me in Discord is going to be the easiest way. But Doug Newbing is going to choose the outside here on this restart. Cedric Hunter to his inside. Rolling through turns 3 and 4. Side by side, Newbig's going to fire off. He's bringing Cedric Hunter right along with him. Hunter sticks right to his inside. They're going to bring Gabriel Ellison to the inside of David Farmer, trying to shuffle Farmer all the way back into that 4th spot. They want to get the Lucky Ducks 1, 2, 3 once again, and it looks like they are going to do so. Top 5 with the restart's going to be Newbigging, Hunter Ellison, Farmer, and Mikey Neal Jr. gets the pass on Jonathan Cogswell. Matt Grenier gets back Cogswell. Here comes Tony Iverson. He's up 4 spots since the start of this race, and right this minute, our biggest mover. He's got a good run going for himself in that Futurama number 72. Take a look on board with Tony Iverson here. You can see him there just still continuing just to relax. It's still early in this race. In the next stage break on lap 120. He's not really pressing the issue or anything, just kind of riding at the moment. We'll take a look back up front. We got battles brewing in the top 4 positions again. Mikey Neal Jr., he's able to get by Cedric Hunter. Hunter going to make the same call that he did last time. Is he going to fall back and relax? We'll find out. Top 3 now, Newbigging, Ellison, Farmer. 10 cars remain here tonight in this race.
Apologize for that.
It is all good. I've already done it to you once, so it's all good.
That's alright.
David Farmer all over the back bumper of Gabriel Ellison. Now he wants that 2nd spot. You know, this track is not an easy place to pass, so if you can get every position that you can right now, it takes a look at the outside of Cedric Hunter. Now Hunter's going to take it all the way down onto the apron of the track to try to open that gap up. Farmer, huge run around the outside now through turns 1 and 2. He will clear Gabriel Ellison. And as difficult of a track as this is to pass, if you can get your line locked in, you get those positions, and you hold your line, you know, all the way up to the wall down the straightaways, all the way down to the line through the turns. And even if you're able to use the apron through the tri-oval, you could do wonders just holding off the drivers behind you, even if they're faster. We saw it last night in the Xfinity Series. We saw it Monday night in the Truck Series. Right now, David Farmer now taking a look to the outside of Doug Newbigging for the race lead. Farmer's going to have it at the stripe. Newbigging really not putting up a fight to get back by him. Farmer clears him by quite a ways there through turns 1 and 2. He's now going to pull away right off the bat to a half a second lead over Doug Newbigging. Can't help but wonder, Cody, if Farmer, he might be using his tires up a little too early here.
But that thought just crossed my mind when we see him took the race lead. He's like shot out of a rocket. Maybe he knows something we don't. The rest of these guys don't. But yeah, he's definitely going to be pushing it. Yeah, you know, it's another stage break, so that's a good thing for him. I don't know. I know the last stop. I don't know if these guys are going to have to make any green flag pit stops or anything like that. But he wants to lead, and he took it. Newbigging, I think he's just riding around, won the last stage or won the first stage here. I got my guy on Mikey here. Mikey Neal in the 8 car. I want to see what this guy can do. Not the first stage he wanted to have, but I think he's kind of settled in right now, and he's going to start trying to track down the 8 Hunter, the 15. The 15 of, excuse me, I haven't been here all season. The 15 of Granger, he's there now as well.
Yeah, he's not far behind him. Mikey Neal Jr. not letting Neal get out of his sights. I just saw a puff of smoke. Take a look on up and make sure everybody looks like they're doing all right there. But Mikey Neal Jr., usually one of the drivers that we have a camera on. Unfortunately, it wouldn't let him connect it tonight. It's just one of the perks of technology. Sometimes it cooperates, sometimes it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It's always good fun to have Mikey Neal Jr. And, you know, we had him on call here on Monday with us. And I think it was Monday. Was it either Monday or last week? I don't remember for sure. It was Monday, I'm pretty sure. You know, but he's a blast. You know, he's got a lot of energy. He loves to talk. So he's like quite a natural in the booth.
Hey, do we have permission to drag a driver up, BJ?
I wouldn't do it under green flag, but we do, to an extent, have permission.
I was hoping to check on old Gabriel Ellison there in the 77. I was going to see what he was doing.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Maybe we got some laps to play with.
Yeah, we're gonna let him ride right now. It's best not to bring drivers up under green flag run, especially since these Lucky Duck drivers are sponsored by our league sponsors, Roasted Gems Coffee. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, if we bring him up and he makes a mistake, one of the league sponsors might not be too happy.
Yeah. Right on. I get that. I get that. As Ellison, I mean, at least they, you know, what a good team to sponsor. You know, these guys are out there running 2, 3, and 4, I believe, correct? Lucky Duck?
And they have been, you know, they've been on an absolute tear throughout the entire season. They won the overall team standings. One of the drivers drove the Flying Banana number 70, Aaron Smith, ran with them all season long, was the winningest driver across the board in Bluegrass this season. And then he decided to park it for the playoffs.
Who's that? Excuse me.
And go run another series. Aaron Smith.
Okay. Well,
an extremely talented
I'm gonna
driver.
sip my coffee and say that's none of my business.
Yeah, he had his fun here, and he had an opportunity to go race in another league, and that was what he chose to do.
As you do, BJ. As you do. No. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That's kind of unfortunate. You know, you don't understand why a driver that made the playoffs, why he would just up and leave. I guess it is what it is. But who is here is that 84 Farmer. Is he still out front? Newbigging continues to run in second. You know, these drivers, they're hanging in there. as you see, Brian Terry, the lucky dog candidate back there in the DeWalt car, he got his lap back, and now he's looking on the backside of Cogswell and Huffman going into 1 and 2. So good rebound by that driver there.
Huffman, one of our final 4 drivers here. He's not having the run that he's really looking for right now. He's running a 7th, and he's got pressure from behind from the Edwards setup, shop number 27. Cogswell is he's been quick here late in the playoffs and looking to see some good things out of him next season. But last night, Huffman pulled off a top 3 in the Xfinity Series. Not a series that he was running, just kind of running to get some lap time here for the Cup Series going into tonight. Had a great run against those guys. Right now really seems to be struggling to get going and get up there and battle for the championship.
Yeah, no, definitely not to the run you want if you're a Final Four contender and sitting in 7th. I mean, he does have a stage break and many more laps after that. We're closing in on lap 85 out of 312. Not quite halfway, but we're getting there. You hope for Huffman that he can, kind of figure it out, come into the end of this stage and bring it on into the next stage. But at the end of the day, like you said, good finish here, regardless of, you made the Final Four. I think that's a pretty good accomplishment, especially with the talent that you have in the Bluegrass Cup Series here. And, yeah, I mean, the interval on Farmer is closing in on 2.3 seconds. He's pushing hard right now, BJ. And Newbigging and Ellison, they're just still riding around doing their thing. I'm curious to see how long Farmer's tires hold off.
And as you say that, lap 85, Newbigging and Ellison both faster than the leader of Farmer in that 84 machine. Farmer, he's been doing a really good job staying consistent, staying quick. But lap 85, he was 3/10 slower on 85 than he was on 83 and 84. See, we can turn here. He's still running those 28.6 marks. So Newbigging Ellison starting to quickly close the gap on him. Take a look a little further back and see what kind of a lap time Hunter is running right now in that 4th position. Hunter a little off the pace compared to his 2 teammates up ahead. Right about almost a 1/10.5 slower than Newbigging is 71 of Ellison.
2 laps ago, the gap I was talking about going up to 2.2 or 2.3. Right now, it's sitting at about 1.7, 1.6. So in 2 laps, Newbigging, now it's encroaching on a 1.5 seconds. He's reeling in your race leader in that number 84 Farmer. EPI in the side of that race car.
Farmer starting to struggle, and I believe that's actually EFI.
Oh, EFI, excuse me.
I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's actually EFI.
EFI,
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
that.
Holly EFI.
Absolutely, that's a good looking race car. Being partial to me. Good looking hot rod out there. He's running up close to the wall. He's still hanging on the race lead. It looks like the gap is about 1.5, 1.6. It's going to stay stagnant. Maybe he figured it out. Maybe Ellison just pushed it a little bit harder that time. But coming out of 3 and 4, he's going to continue to be your race leader on lap 90 here at Phoenix. BJ, what are you thinking right now? If you're in that car, what are you doing? You just hanging on for dear life, or what's your game plan if you're in the playoffs here?
See, I'm not the guy you want to ask that question, because if you say are you hanging on for dear life, son, I drive a late model. I don't drive a Cup car. If I'm in a Cup car, I'm hanging on for dear life for 312 laps.
Absolutely, same here. But if you were in that, if you were one of these guys in the playoffs, what would you just riding around right now, knowing you got plenty of laps, not doing any crazy, or doing nothing like crazy, or are you out front like Hunter is here, or Farmer, excuse me, and going bananas? What's your mind?
I personally, I think I'm too aggressive. I'm pushing for every position, every lap. Yeah, I wanna lead that race. I wanna stay up front the entire race. That's where I'm at. That's the way that I drive. But a lot of these guys, they're smarter than I am, such as Newbigin, Ellison, Hunter. They sat back, they saved their tires this run. Farmer, he's up ahead, but these guys, they still have 27 laps when Farmer hits the stripe here to get caught back up. Oh, we still got a whole straightaway to go. We got 27 laps when he hits the stripe out of turn number 4. And, I don't have the patience for that, but we've seen it work. We've seen it work throughout the season for drivers like Cedric Hunter. It looked like Farmer might have grazed the wall a little bit there. Seen him do that a couple of times now throughout this race, but no harm, no foul, no damage to that car. If you got the patience, great. If you're me, I'm going for everything I can every lap.
Absolutely. I think that'd be my mindset too. As I said, I've dabbled in the fixed Xfinity, the fixed truck series, and the officials. I'm not much for a tire saver.
Now, see the difference in our racing and what these guys are doing is we don't worry about tires. That's not a question for us. And a long race for us is 75 laps. And it usually, what's the longest track we got? 20 seconds a lap at
the Grove.
At the Grove, yeah. So a long race for us is still a dash for these guys. So we have completely different mindsets solely due to the fact that we have completely different race styles. Dirt racing known for what asphalt drivers would call a dash race.
Right. I think the stage racing though, that's definitely a big ball game changer for us dirt guys, because now we don't have big gaps, but obviously that final stage being longer, and just the concept of having tire wear, yeah, it's definitely, they definitely have an advantage over us. That's one thing, is we see Brian Terry in that DeWalt Chevrolet. He is going to be your first lap car down again at number 13 machine. Not the run Terry was looking for, as he's going to stay high, as Farmer is going to go low. Terry giving him plenty of room to the stripe, clicking off lap number 98 out of 312. Just riding around, man. That's Brian Terry way up by the wall now. His Newbigin is down, that gap down to just over a second on your race leader, Ellison. He's going to ride around in third. Single file, everybody's spreading out. Still a long ways to go. Hunter is back 4.5 from your leader, so a little closer in the middle of the field. But these top 4, top 5, they're all spaced out pretty evenly.
And just a quick mention, we are live on Ultimate Dirt TV Facebook, Bluegrass Facebook, Ultimate Dirt TV YouTube, and Bluegrass YouTube. And I do apologize, I don't have as many screens as Steve does, so I can only pull up one of those streams at a time on my phone to watch chat. So if you're wanting to chat with us, probably the Ultimate Dirt TV Facebook is the best place to do that. But wherever you're watching, make sure you hit the like and follow button. If you're on Facebook, hit the subscribe button and the like button. If you're on YouTube side, show these guys some support, show these guys some appreciation. Tell us who you're rooting for all throughout this race. Coming out of turn number 4, 20 laps remain here in stage number 1. Newbigin starting to close the gap. Our playoff drivers of Ellison sits in 3rd, Hunter sits in 4th, Neal sits in 5th, and Huffman has made his way back into that 7th spot, still being followed right now by Jonathan Cogswell.
Absolutely, that 27 machine putting the pressure on the 2 car, that's for sure, as now you see Mikey, or no, yes, excuse me, sorry, I'm still learning the car name and the paints together, but we see Mikey Neal, he got around the lap car, Brian Terry in that 13 DeWalt sponsored car. You know, I don't know what to say here, BJ. I think these drivers are right now, they're just all locked in, they're doing their thing. Neil and Ranger did not gain any lap times on Hunter, so I think Hunter might be pulling away from Mikey Neal a little bit.
Almost
that
looks.
is-
It
Go
almost
ahead.
looks to me like a little bit of a cat and mouse game between Neil and Hunter, but Hunter just considerably quicker on a consistent basis over Mikey Neal Jr. But you look through several laps through there, Mikey Neal Jr. was quicker. Now we're back to Cedric Hunter being quicker, 99, 101, and 102. So you're definitely seeing the pace difference for these guys. But I wouldn't count Mikey Neal Jr. out of it yet. You know, he's riding in that 5th spot. He's mid-pack. And there's still a lot of racing to go. And these guys are not completely out of sight from Mikey Neal Jr. As it sits right now, Cedric Hunter, 1.5 seconds ahead of Mikey Neal Jr. Stands a decent chance to get a move on and get back up there to him. Cedric Hunter still considerably quicker though.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we got another stage break here, and then that final stage being a longer stage. You know, I think Mikey Hunter is just, or Mikey Neal, sorry, excuse me, is just riding around. You know, he's 3.5 roughly back from the leader. Speaking of your leader, Farmer, he is now caught, and Ellison is there as well. It is go time. Lap 105 coming to an end here. It's going to be 106 when we hit the stripe. Newbigging, he's there, and he wants to lead, and his teammate Ellison's right behind him. And Hunter is right behind them. We are about to have a 4-car battle here for the race lead coming to the close of stage 2.
It's a very good chance. Just 15 laps to go. Ooh, excuse me, just 15 laps to go here in the stage. And Newbigging all over the back bumper of Farmer. Looked like Newbigging might have grazed the wall a little bit there down a straightaway. Doesn't appear to have hurt him any. Right to the quarter.
Oh.
Side by side now to turn number 4. Good run from Newbigging out of turn number 4. Newbigging, oh, he's going to lose it to the inside.
Big contact with the inside wall. Big contact as he is, or maybe no contact.
Newbigging was not able to get it back going. And caution flag will not wave. He is outside of the racing surface. There is the caution flag while Newbigging tries to get it turned around. I don't think he meant for that caution flag, but I think he backed up just a little bit too far and stuck his back bumper back on the racing surface. Caution flag waves here tonight. We'll take a look at our NLRA instant replay. And yes, I know I do not have the right change screen up there.
Ooh, just a little kiss with the left rear there.
A little
Nothing
kiss
major.
nearly saved him from spinning out. These cars just so easy to loop sometimes and so difficult to save.
Absolutely is. He just tries to go for the momentum pass going into 3. Gets down to that apron. That apron, she's slick down there. Just a little bit of banking differential, carrying that much speed. She's went around. Good job by the 7. Good job by the 7 machine at Newbigging to not completely junk that race car. Because if it was me, she'd be all sorts of tore up. Heck of a drive there.
I can vouch for that one. Your car would definitely be all tore up. I've seen it over and over.
Yes, sir. Roasted Gems coffee on the side of that 7 machine there.
Newbigging trying to get turned around, just backed it up, and his back end of his car hit the racing surface there, and that drew the caution. Back to line picture. I expect to see everybody coming down pit road here. There you see him, Newbigging, one of the dominant drivers all race long. He's going to relinquish the lead over to Gabriel Ellison in the 77. Second
going down here at Phoenix, BJ.
Yeah. First caution of the night. It says second up there on your screen, but it's actually our first caution ruled by our overlays was actually the stage break. It's the first race we've had this week. I started in the daytime. Trucks and Xfinity started in the nighttime and was run all at night. But today we're starting in the day. We're transitioning over. I expect to see the lights kick on here soon. All at once, we'll just see everything brighten up. And I expect that to happen here before we reach the halfway point. Halfway point tonight being a lap 156.
Track temp is something that's got to be in some of these drivers' mind. Track temp is going to drop dramatically here now.
Speaking of track temp, let's see if we can get us a look-see here. Let's see.
Track temp 76 degrees.
Yeah, I see it there. I'm sitting there looking through it a little bit. Yeah, we got air temp is 72, track temp is 76, partly cloudy, 36% humidity. So, dew going to be sitting on the track. No, not a lot of wind, but dew is going to be sitting on the track at 36% humidity.
Yes. Yeah, I think she's gonna make it slick. It makes you wonder if that top line's gonna come in now, or if it's it might actually come in now with it being, you know, track might tack up a little bit.
I don't
Be
know
so
if
hot and greasy.
dew is a thing on iRacing yet or not, or if it ever will be, but it would be a nice little change. Well, I'll tell you what, for the dirt side, there's a lot of cool things that I'd like to see on the dirt side that weather would really affect. But anyway, lights are out on a pace car. Ellis is going to choose the inside Newbigging after spinning out. He will restart back in that 8th position. Your front row, Ellison, Hunter, side by side. That's the Lucky Ducks Motorsports powerhouse right there. Then Mikey Neal Jr., 3 out of 4 of our playoff drivers currently sit 1, 2, 3.
Your 4th and final playoff driver is going to be the 2 of Huffman back in 7th. Hopefully you can figure it out. Here comes the stage into stage 2. Green flag. Ellison, big jump. Green flag is out. Ellison, Neal, they're both going to jump to the bottom. Huffman picks up a spot. We're 3 wide, 4 potentially 4 wide, BJ.
3 wide for that position back there with David Farmer. You know, that restart, I feel, was probably going to be slightly questionable. I have a feeling it's going to be looked at later on by race control, but right now, battle going for 2nd place. Huffman, he has come from 7th, now takes over that 2nd position here at the beginning of stage number 3. Ellison runs that high side 3 wide through turns number 1 and 2 for the race lead. Now for 2nd, he's going to bring Farmer right along with him through the middle. Farmer and Huffman now go 1-2 side by side for that 3rd spot. So between the teammates of Cedric Hunter and Gabriel Ellison, Farmer's going to bump Huffman. No harm, no foul, and away runs Alex Huffman.
Yeah, Huffman and Farmer, did they come in for tires, BJ? I must have missed that because those guys are just unreal fast right now. As Farmer's going to look for the lead to the inside of Huffman now. Absolutely unreal racing. It looks like this track gained a lot of grip now, BJ, that the sun's starting to go down. She's cooled off. We're not greasy anymore. We're hooked up. We're ready to start racing.
Everybody in the field took 4 tires. It looks like except for Doug Newbigging, the driver spinning out in that number 7 machine. Looks like he only took 2 tires, but everybody else took 4 tires. Huffman runs his fastest lap of the race. David Farmer runs the fastest lap of the race overall, it looks like, with a 27.52. Absolutely blazing lap for him.
Absolutely.
Iverson finds his way up into that 3rd spot here in this stage. What a run he is having here as we close in on the halfway point in the race. We'll take a look on board with the driver of the 72.
Absolutely. Heck of a drive for Iverson. He, just minded his P's and Q's at the back of the field most of this race, and now he's running in your top 5. Running that 3rd spot as he's just locked in right now. 2 hands on the wheel. He is going, BJ, and he's going fast, and you know what he's doing? He's turning left. That's a terrible joke. He's having a good run, though. Farmer, Huffman, both of them shot out like a cannon on the restart there. Hunter, he's been mid-pack most of the race. He's hung in there. He's doing a good job, keeping his car clean. Allison, same thing. Mikey Neal has just been hanging out. Brian Terry, he's actually now up into your top 10, picked up a couple spots there in that restart. That man's been a lap down twice. So good rebound by the 13 of Terry. Newbigging, he's been the kind of the, how would you say, the excitement, I guess you could call it. Spinning out, coming out of the dog leg. has to restart at the tail of the field here, coming to the end of stage 2. So definitely some implications there coming into the final stage here, BJ.
That it definitely is. I'm really surprised. You know, he spun out all on his own, so I'm really surprised to see him only take 2 tires, unless he chose for left sides to try to tighten the car up a bit. But your right side's going to have so much wear on them throughout the run. You'd have to go right sides, but it makes your car extremely loose when you go right side. So really surprising after seeing himself spin to only go with 2 tires. But I do understand the call. He wanted to try to make that ground back up, want to try to get back up with his teammates, and you know, have a real shot at it. You see him right there bobble off of turn number 2. He is fighting that car tooth and nail right now around this track. He's not making up a whole lot of time in that number 7 machine.
Absolutely. That's why I was just curious to see if do we have an in-car camera with New Bigging here tonight, because that would be interesting to see that man's hands right now fighting that wheel as we are under caution. That might be the stage break, BJ. Lap 120.
We shall see.
As you see the 84 Farmer coming down the front stretch here at Phoenix.
I'm not showing anything. This is the only one I'm showing is where Doug Newbing lost it there. I'm not showing. I do believe.
There we are. That'd be the stage break, I guess.
Yeah, that would in fact be the stage break. I do believe that my
Hoffman stays out here.
Yeah, that was the stage break. That's why I'm not showing anything. I'm like, man, where is the information on this? But
Hoffman stays out, BJ. Farmer, Iverson, Hunter, Eliason. Looks like everybody else is gonna come down pit road. I mean, maybe Huffman comes down the second lap around, but
yeah, bit surprised to not see Huffman come down pit road on
not too
that
many laps.
Stage.
Sorry, BJ.
Yeah,
Sorry, BJ.
You're good.
I was just gonna say not too many laps on these tires though from that last caution though. So definitely something to think about.
The last caution was thrown. Looks like lap 114, so he's only running right about after 5 pace laps 114. That'll put him at last green flag dropped at 114.
Well, 9 laps then.
Yeah, so right about 9 laps. Well, 6 laps once they went back green. So I have to agree with Huffman's call to not come down pit road, not take the tires and fuel. It's going to set him on a slightly different pit strategy. Farmer first off pit road, Iverson second. So right now we've got Huffman, Farmer, Iverson, Ellison, and Neal, your current top 5. But I got to say, I agree with the call here to not take the tires here, or not take a pit stop at all. That's going to put him on a different pit strategy. He'll be starting off in the race lead. He'll have to pit just a little bit sooner, but based on how many tires or how far they can run on fuel, I expect this to work out for Huffman. He'll have a different set of tires. He'll be able to make up some ground before these guys, when he's on fresh tires, before these guys come down pit road and get fresh tires themselves. He'll be able to make up that ground and close that gap a little bit back up when he comes back on track. So I can see the call going his way here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was thinking, maybe he's setting up for yeah, absolutely. There's so much strategy that goes into asphalt racing. It completely baffles me. Honestly, I how do I say it? I respect the hustle. I respect the call. Chancing it. Championship night here at Phoenix for the Bluegrass Iracing Series Cup Series. Championship Final 4, round of Final 4. The he's going for the gold. He sat around, rode around in 7th for the better half of this race, and he said, "Let's go." He goes, "We're gonna go win us a championship, boys, or at least try to." So strategy, mind games being played now.
Yeah, you gotta take that gamble sometimes and pace cars off out of turn number 2 here. That long pace lap now around the track. You got Huffman, Farmer sitting 1-2. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. You've gotta respect the hustler. You gotta admire the strategy call here out of Huffman. It's all on the line. It's do or die time here in the final race of the season. Rolling through turn number 3 now. Huffman's going to lead us to the Geico restart zone. There he's in the zone, and there he goes firing. Good jump for Huffman. Look at him hold back. Look at Farmer holding back the 77 of Gabriel Ellison. Really bad start there for David Farmer.
Mikey Neal now up into the top 3 or top 4, excuse me, top 5 is he's there looking right around behind the 72 of Iverson. Farmer, a little bit of a bad restart, but he's there now. Big dive to the inside of Huffman coming into turns number 1. Wow, power move there for Farmer. Huffman's going to turn it back underneath of him. Iverson's sitting behind, ready to leap as he's going to run it deep down to the apron. Closes a big run for the 72. What a battle here we're seeing coming into the final stage here. Phoenix. Huffman pushes up Farmer. He's running up high. Iverson is waiting. He's waiting for one mistake, and it is all over, and Iverson is going to be there.
Yeah, Iverson with one of the best runs we've seen from him this season. We've seen him one other time up towards the front right now. Battle going for the race lead, nearly having contact across the stripe between Huffman and Farmer. Farmer, massive power moves you mentioned to get back up there and battle for the race lead. He had a poor start, shot around the outside to get back up there into that second spot. Now he puts the bumper to Huffman. Huffman goes around Farmer, dumps Huffman for the race lead. Caution flag is going to fly. I'll be really interested in seeing if race control does not call that one on Farmer, send Farmer to the rear. Unfortunate for Huffman. We'll take a look at our NLRA instant replay here. See Huffman right there. Farmer gets a shot to his back bumper coming off of turn number 2. Just hooks him. Looks like very minimal damage to Huffman. He did a good job to just let the car spin itself around right there. That is not what he wants, and he was battling for a race lead. And he just get... I'm just going to call it as I see it, to get straight up dumped by David Farmer. It's not something you normally see out of Farmer. The frustration there must have been building for him to just take Alex Huffman out like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely big, I mean, you call it for what it is. I mean, crazy good, crazy good, crazy bad, just crazy period, whatever you want to call it. Power move going into turns number 1 and 2. I mean, could have destroyed both of them, ended both of their races right there. But I mean, on the plus side, he made it work, and Huffman was able to, cross back under him. So I mean, I think if anybody should be dumping anybody, I mean, it might be the 2 of Huffman. Because that was, I mean, I wouldn't be too happy after a move like that with so many laps left to go here. Huffman being in the playoffs, Farmer being in the playoffs as well. Long way to go. Or Farmer is in the playoffs, correct? I'm pretty sure he is.
No, Farmer is not in the playoffs. It is Ellison, Hunter, Neal, and Huffman.
There's another thing. He's not, Farmer, he just thought, I respect that too. I respect you're out here trying to win the race. And, I'm the broadcaster, so I don't get to have an opinion on it. But definitely tough break for the 2 of Huffman being a playoff driver in the Final Four last night here at Phoenix. And you go from leading the race to back of the pack, like you said, minimal damage. Hopefully he can come back. Silver lining, I guess, bright side to the race in general. Iverson, he's moving up into that second spot now. We talked about it. He was there just waiting for something to happen, and, well, it happened. He might be our race leader after this, depending on what race control does, BJ.
It'd be really interested in seeing just what they do, and it looks like Farmer's going to take it up to the wall. It's going to relinquish the lead over to Tony Iverson. Farmer and Huffman both having a great run there in this at the beginning of stage 3. Huffman now still pit side in that number 2. Looks like he's been down pit road for 36 seconds now. He's in danger of losing a lap as the leaders are coming around right now. And
I wonder what they're looking at on that 2 car that's keeping him in there for so long.
Huffman will go a lap down. And you know, one thing that I've noticed with these cars, it takes very little impact to the wall to cause suspension damage. So I'm a little worried about the 2 car on that note as to whether or not he might have got into the wall. Huffman is back on track now, but a very long pit stop and currently mired a lap down. So Farmer goes to the rear on that one, and I have to agree with the call. Just got into the back of Huffman and turned him. And you know, I don't want to sit here and say that it was intentional out of Farmer, because that's not something we normally see out of Farmer. I feel like from where Farmer was sitting, it was just hard to tell that Huffman was sideways until it was too late to really correct it. And at that point, you got to take your chances and keep on going, rather than, you know, lock them up or try to get out of them and cause yourself to get wrecked or get wrecked into as well. So, I mean, I understand the call from both points there for David Farmer. Iverson, our race leader, now leading us back to the green flag out of turn number 4. There's the restart zone. And Iverson, excellent jump there for the 72. He's going to bring Gabriel Ellison right along with him. Mikey Neal Jr. is going to fall back to that 3rd spot under attack from Doug Newbig. And what a rebound he has had from his incident earlier.
Definitely a big break for that 7 car with the 2nd caution coming out there between, excuse me, Farmer and Hunter, or Huffman, excuse me. So definitely a break for that guy there. Good rebound. He definitely has some work to do now, because Iverson's your new race leader. Mikey is way up into the top 3 now. He's there. Ellison's still having a really good run. Steven mentioned earlier that he had a good run in the Xfinity trucks and Xfinity cars and the trucks. So momentum definitely carrying, but I'm happy to see that 72 out front.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steve not able to join us here tonight. He is having some internet issues. The internet company has decided to attack him and cut off his internet. I'm just kidding. They're having some issues with the lines there, from what I understand, and he's not able to join us tonight. So you have to deal with my sorry producing, but I hope that it is satisfactory enough.
Yeah, you're producing in my commentary. It's these poor people.
Right? And my commentary, I mean, these guys got a lot of suffering. I suck too.
Terry, look at Farmer on the outside of the 13 car of Terry there. He's back on the move. He's headed up front. Is going to the rear. He's on a mission, and he's already back up, approaching on the top 5. Farmer wants this win, and he wants it bad.
Yeah, Farmer pushing back forward very quickly. Momentarily, he and Alex Huffman are running side by side. Now they're running 7th and 8th as both of them made it around Brian Terry. Farmer heavy on the back bumper of Jonathan Cogswell now. He's looking to make up all the positions that he possibly can. Doug Newbig, he's falling back to that 5th spot now. Made his way back up towards the top 3, top 4, and now he's back into the 5th. His teammate Cedric Hunter made it around, and Mikey Neal Jr. still runs in that 3rd spot, the highest up we've seen him all race long. Gabriel Ellison losing ground to Tony Iverson, now out in the lead. You know, this is showing just what that clean air can do for the next gen cars. 1.4 second lead for Tony Iverson. Tony, if you can hear me, take it easy on your tires. You've got the race lead.
Absolutely, you know, that's one thing too, is we don't have another stage break, correct? So if that's the case, it's going to be green flag or caution, natural cautions, you know, for all the way for the rest of this race. The longest green flag run we had was the first stage, was 60 laps. So, you know, there's that to think about. Tony definitely doing a heck of a job out front right now in that 72 machine, as he's got the onboard cam here at home. Get to watch Tony burn some laps around Phoenix Speedway here, and you know, he's doing his job. He's out front. like you said, he's just gonna save his tires, clean air. He's having a good run right now.
And he is
That
staying
future
really,
Ram the 72.
and he is staying very smooth. And he's, he's doing something that I can't seem to do. He's putting very little wheel input. I get in these things, I'm do or die. I'm used to dirt. You're cranking on that thing left, right, left, right, left, right. It seems like it.
Yes, sir.
Then I get in a cup car and I'm like, left, go left, go left, go left. And
Just
I'm
pushes
pulling on
across
it.
the track. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's one thing I found. That was my biggest adjustment from dirt to asphalt is when the tires wear, like right away when you get new tires, you can drive her in there harder than you can later on. When your tires start to wear and tires start to fade out, you really have to back your entry off and kind of just let that car glide in there. Yeah, but also, I mean, the more and more wear you have on your tires, the more and more it's like driving on ice. You're just skating around out there, especially when the track temp is fluctuating, hot and cold. And we were talking about the sun going down here, and it must have been just sitting behind one of those peaks perfectly. Now, as you see the sun, he's coming back out in turns number 3 and 4.
it's a cloudy day.
It is a cloudy day, so that's definitely one thing too. Is the weather has not a lot of wind. That cloud sat there and hung around on the track for a long time. It definitely cooled the surface down. Now that sun's back out, so definitely games being played not only by the drivers but Mother Nature herself.
And right now, David Farmer's made his way into that 5th spot. He's putting pressure there momentarily on Cedric Hunter. He's pushing that car. He's driving it hard, trying to get back up towards the front after receiving the EOL. But, it's not a... Honestly, I don't think that's a good place to be. When you push that car like that, you're putting a lot of wear on your tires. You see, he's playing it smart down the tri-oval. He's staying up on the main racing surface. That change in banking really puts a lot of wear on the tires. He takes a look at the inside of Cedric Hunter. He will complete the pass. It puts a lot of wear on the tires going across that tri-oval. So he's playing it smart. He's playing it safe to stay up on the racing surface going across there. New Bigging now under attack from his teammate. He's all the way up against the wall through 3 and 4. He's really struggling in number 7 car now. Cogswell's going to work by him and take over that 6th position.
Yeah, good to see Cogswell coming up into the picture here as he's kind of laid low for most of this race, and he's starting to peek his nose up into the picture now for top 3, top 5 finish. So good run to that man in the 27. They'll set up shop, I believe you said, on the side of that machine. As we're looking at Mikey Neal up now battling with Farmer, and that 84, I think he's the fastest car on the racetrack right now. I'll call it for what it is. He went to the back and he's already worked his way back up here into the top 5, and if he can manage his tires in the long run, I think he might be a contender for the race as he closes up big. He seems to be a lot better than Mikey in 3 and 4. Big, huge. He is just braking so late into these corners compared to these other guys as he almost runs Neal over going into 1 and 2. Now he's going to work to the outside at the flag, give it to Hunter in the 84. Neal's going to cut it back to the underside of him to the dog leg. But Farmer's going to carry that momentum around into 3 and 4. And, man, BJ, that guy, he is on the move, and he's coming now. The next car on his hit list is going to be that 77.
And Dave Farmer clearly is liking Phoenix right now. He is absolutely flying in that number 84 machine. Made his way into 3rd. It's Iverson, Ellison, and Farmer. Take a look back up front. Try to take a look back up front. The gap right now from 1st to 2nd is 2.7 seconds. So Tony Iverson on a roll right now. So we close in on the halfway mark of the race. He's looking for his first win of the season, and if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to get confirmation from him on this. His first career win in Bluegrass in that number 72 machine. Having a fantastic run here tonight right now. But at the moment, the man to talk about still continues to be the 84 of David Farmer. Still the fastest car on the track. Looking at his lap times, 28:24 for David Farmer. Everybody else is 28.4s and above, except for Tony Iverson with 28.37. So he is absolutely just flying in that number 84. Alex Huffman, he will take it pit side in the number 2 machine. Bit surprised to see that one. Could be an early pit stop. Pit stops could be part of his strategy.
It's just looking like BJ's,
Nope, and he
as
will
you see the driver clear.
park it. So he will take it, but maybe not. Still on pit road, 27 second pit stop. Can't help but wonder if maybe he didn't
As
have
he
a
goes
little
lap
bit of
down
an
now.
issue. Can't help but wonder if he didn't have a little bit of an issue in that number 2 machine. Not what he was looking for here tonight. Coming in tonight as one of the final 4 drivers in the championship chase.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Falling 2-3 laps down now. You know, you talked about suspension earlier when he hit that wall. It didn't look like much, but these bodies on these cars, these new next gen cars, they're a lot tougher than the old gen. But yeah, like you said, it doesn't take much to disturb whatever mechanical parts lay inside of these next gen cars. As you see, it just right now, it blows my mind how fast David Farmer is. You know, we can talk about Huffman and being in the playoffs. That's a tough break for him. You know, I was also thinking too, Gabriel Ellison, he's these drivers that you said his best finish. Tony Iverson is not in the playoffs. He is out leading this race. You look back at Doug Newbigging, playoff driver. He's sitting back in 7th. You don't need to necessarily go on and win this race to become the champion here tonight, but you definitely need to beat these other 3 playoff drivers you're going against. And Huffman, he just so they just lost one of the 4 playoff drivers right there, so it got a little bit easier for them, but he's still got some work to do sitting back there in 7th position right now.
Well, Newbigging is actually not currently one of the playoff drivers.
Oh my goodness.
His teammates, his teammates of Gabriel Ellison, Cedric Hunter are the playoff drivers, along with Mikey Neal Jr. in 5th. So right now our playoff drivers 2nd, 4th, and 5th. Ellison, the furthest driver up right now, in 2nd position. Times have actually leveled off a bit. David Farmer actually running considerably slower, one of the slowest cars in the field the last couple of times by, running a 28.65, Ellison 28.4, Iverson 28.5. So Farmer has dropped off the pace quite a bit, drove that car really, really hard, and I think it's really hurt him. But right now, Iverson still out in front, but he's losing some of that time now to Gabriel Ellison in 2nd. That 2+ second lead that he had is now down to 2.5, just under a 2.5 between he and Gabriel Ellison.
Absolutely, closing the gap is the 77. David Farmer, he fell off. I think he used up those tires. He's starting to fall off, or maybe he knows that stage racing is done. So we're just gonna ride around. It's all green flag from here if necessary. So pit strategy is definitely a thing, and that's what I kind of thought Huffman was doing when he come in, or a little early pit stop, but not the case, as he's going to be the first playoff driver out of this race. As just riding along here with the 77 Ellison, everybody kind of single file back out, nobody doing anything crazy. Tony Iverson, heck of a run to that, man, as we got a little battle back here between Mikey Neal, Cedric Hunter, or not Cedric Hunter, Jonathan Cogswell. Cedric Hunter just in front of these two. A little further back here, there's Newbigging and Granger. So these guys are having a little bit more of a competitive race back here. Dirty air is definitely playing a factor. Iverson just out front, carrying that clean air, riding around, hitting his marks.
And that's exactly what he's got to do. Even if he's not the fastest driver out there right this moment, all he's got to do is stay clean, maintain his line, hit his marks, not make any mistakes, and he can still come out with a race win. And he's doing exactly that. Since he got up to the front, we've not seen any mistakes out of that number 72. And yeah, he's fallen off the pace a little bit from what he was. Gabriel Ellison is closing that gap at a considerable pace right now, but it's still, he's still one of the fast cars out there right now in that number 72. The clean air, not having to fight through traffic, not having to deal with the dirty air coming across your car. It's really doing a tremendous job of helping him to save his tires.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. The more and more you fight these cars, the more and more you use your tires. Him being such a long race, tires are everything here. Tires and clean air. As you see Ellison, he's catching the back from now as we jump on with Cedric Hunter. And that 71 machine, he's going to actually start tracking down the 84 Red Farmer. Or I keep wanting to call him Red Farmer. Excuse me. The 84 of David Farmer, excuse me. It has been a while since I called a race, but he's he's starting to track him down, so I think Farmer, we talked about it, used up his tires a little bit because there's a 2-second gap from him to Gabriel Iglesias or Ellison in second place. So,
Gabriel Iglesias is a comedian. Gabriel Ellison is
yes.
the bluegrass driver.
Oh Lord. If Steve is watching, I hope he's proud. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, he's you know, I don't even know. Cedric Hunter though, he's having a good run. It's kind of in the middle of the pack. Most of this race, obviously we're sitting here. We just clicked off 160 or 162. We're on 163 now. Long way to go. Just past halfway in this race. It's like a brand new race all over again. You know, halfway down, halfway to go roughly, and we're just kind of single filing out, riding laps. The competitiveness and the just pure racing, I'd love to see a caution. But if it doesn't happen, you know, it doesn't happen.
We'd love to see a caution, but we wouldn't love to see a caution at the same time. But right now, looking a little further back, Doug Newbig starting to close that gap in on his teammate 27 of Jonathan Cogswell. Mikey Neal Jr. just kind of riding by himself. He's our furthest back of our three playoff drivers still in this race. He's just riding by himself in that 5th position. Cedric Hunter, one of our other playoff drivers, he rides right now in 4th behind David Farmer. Gap between those two drivers starting to close a little bit. Tony Iverson has lost the lead now to Gabriel Ellison. We missed that while Cody decided to talk all night here. We missed that change of events. But Gabriel Ellison, one of the playoff drivers in the race lead, he's exactly where he wants to be. And yes, I got to take a shot at Cody. I just got to. But right now, it is Ellison, Iverson, Farmer, Hunter. Farmer now gets by Iverson, so it's Farmer, Iverson, Hunter. Here comes Cedric Hunter to the inside of Tony Iverson. Now that's for that 3rd position. Hunter's going to get it, closing that gap more now on David Farmer. Good run going for these guys right here in the top 4. And kudos to Tony Iverson getting up front, leading the race for so long. You know, he was 10 spots to the good whenever he was up in the race to lead. Right now he's 7 spots to the good, sitting in 4th and still the biggest mover of the race. Good run going for him here tonight in that 72 machine. Watching right now with Cedric Hunter as he's trying to close that gap between he and David Farmer. Take a look on board on the gyro cam with Cedric Hunter. He continues to try to close in that gap between him and David Farmer. He'll take it all the way down to the apron through the tri-oval. That's one of the things that makes this track very unique, is you can use that apron. You can take it all the way to the inside wall if you wanted to. Use every bit of the track. Look at how much Cedric Hunter closes the gap now on David Farmer.
Absolutely. Big run coming out of 3 and 4 there as we continue to ride on board. I was going to say, BJ, not a lot of banking here as he dives way to the bottom side of the apron that time. Big run coming into 3 and 4 as he gets on the binders a little bit here. Slow all that momentum down. Save those tires. Running up in that 2nd lane. Dives down coming out of 4. Close to that yellow line. Gets a big run off. And we are starting to get racy here, BJ, on this green flag run. More and more cars are starting to come into the picture. So, tire wear, we might be starting to get really racy here.
Very, very well could be. Mikey Neal Jr. moved his way into that 4th spot around Tony Iverson. Iverson falling back now. Ran that car hard at the beginning of the stage. Took the race lead and led for quite a while. He's having a fantastic run now. He's falling off pace a little bit. David Farmer all the way up by the wall. That's going to allow the aid of Mikey Neal Jr. to get by him now. 3 playoff drivers back to the top 3. Alex Huffman out of the race in that number 2 machine.
Iverson falling off hard here. Like you said, heck of a run as he gets forced up now. He's going to let the 7 by of Newbank. And he just, you know, he had a good run. Lots of laps to go, obviously. He's now wishing some green flag pit stops. Farmer and Iverson both going to come in to pit road now. So that's going to be something here as we're going to start to see these drivers cycle in through green flag pit stops. Games are going to start being played. Who will be the champion here tonight at Phoenix? Ellison continues to lead both drivers out of their pit stalls. Or excuse me, coming to their pit stalls. Long pit road here at Phoenix. Iverson's going to come in. Farmer is coming in as well. I wish we could drag one of these drivers.
Take a look here at their pit stops. The timer starts as soon as they come down pit road. Iverson first out of his pit stall. The pit stop themselves. We got Iverson with a 15-second pit stop. Farmer with a 15.1. Farmer manages to get out ahead of Iverson there. As you mentioned, that is the first of our pit stops. 6 drivers left on the lead lap from 7th on back. It's going to be Brian, Terry, Farmer, Iverson, Huffman, and Holder. Those drivers are all 1 lap or more down. Huffman and Holder out of the race.
And if I had to guess, BJ, Farmer having brand new tires and he's a lap down, that man is going to be on the gas pedal. He is very strong on the beginning of green flag runs. He is brand new rubber on that car, and he wants that lap back. We talked about it earlier. He's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. He wants that race win. Ellison continues to lead. Hunter is going to run in that 2nd spot. Mikey Neal Jr. is going to be the 3rd place car. He's 2.7 back. Doug Newbigging is going to be right around in your 4th spot. He's 3.1 back, and then your runner, your top 5 is going to be Jonathan Cogswell, and he's 6.8, pushing 7 seconds back from your leader right now.
Take a quick look at.
Yep, go ahead. Sorry, BJ.
So we'll take a quick look at our pit stints. Matt Grenier coming down pit road right now, but Gabriel Ellison, Cedric Hunter, those 2 drivers, and Mikey Neal Jr., those 3 drivers so far have all pitted the exact same lap. You've got stage 1, stage 2. They came down pit road. Right now they're on 54 laps, so we know that they can get at least 61 laps out of a tank of fuel. We'll see exactly what the call is for these drivers. Still over 100 laps. I believe it'd be over 150 laps, if I'm not mistaken, left in this race. Nope, I can't do math. I'm not going to try to do math.
Beyond like 130 laps, I think, left roughly.
Yeah, something like that.
Is Ellison's going to come to the line? I'm not good at math either. Ellison's going to come to the line. We're going to click off 178 out of 312. Still not pitting. I would imagine he's going to be coming in here roughly soon. Ellison, Hunter, Neal, Newbigging, Cogswell, your top 5. Terry, Farmer, Iverson, Granger. And then Huffman is going to be your top 10. Huffman being out of this race. Granger, Iverson, Farmer, Terry, your 4 lap cars down, or your 4 cars a lap down. Is Newbigging starting to put his name back up into this hat for the race winners. He's riding around in 4th. He's on the tail tank of Mikey Neal Jr. Excuse me. As Mikey Neal Jr. goes around sideways on the racetrack, bumps the wall into 3 and 4. No yellow flag is out yet. Drivers doing a good job as he is going to spin that race car around. Big mistake for Neal as he spins out onto the track. Caution will come out now.
Oh.
Tough break for Mikey Neal Jr. riding around in your 3rd spot at the time of caution.
A tough break, but that does throw a bit of a wrench in the works for these drivers as green flag pit stops were underway. I do believe Mikey Neal Jr. will remain on the lead lap, but everybody from 6th place back is not on the lead lap, so they will be able to get the wave around here but they will not be starting any higher up than 5th unless some of these drivers take a long pit stop, and I do mean a very long pit stop, and get mired back further. But as expected, Ellison, Hunter, Newbigging will come down pit road. We'll take a quick look at our NLRA instant replay, see exactly what happened here for Mikey Neal Jr. Just looks like in the transition to get back up onto the track right there through the tri-oval, just hooked his car and sent him around. Unfortunate for Mikey Neal Jr. However, he's not mired back all that far after that incident there for him.
I guess that's the plus side, of the driver coming here tonight. But definitely, not what you want to see happen either. Is so on my live timing and scoring, David Farmer, Tony Iverson, and Brian Terry all have their laps right now. The first driver lap down is going to be the 15 of Matt Granger, running in 9th currently. You see Iverson out there on the track, as well as the 15 of Granger. So everybody's going to get their laps back here.
Yeah, Iverson second guessed his pit stop. He started to come down and pulled right back up. Decided not to. David
Probably
Farmer received his lap back. He rides now in that 5th spot. Mikey Neal Jr. falls back to 6th. Jonathan Cogswell down pit side. He was in 3rd. This is going to drop him back with coming down pit road a little bit later. This is going to drop him back to right about 8th, 9th position with Brian Terry.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a long ways to go in this race, obviously. Still not something you want to see happen regardless. Luckily for that driver, he was able to avoid a big collision. We talked about throws a wrench in the plans of these guys that just messed up their pit strategy completely. Now they got how many ever what thankfully they didn't get too many laps on their tires. But I mean they're gonna have more tires on those laps than those guys that just come down pit road. Ellison, Hunter, and Newbigging. Those guys that stayed out to get their laps back. Or did they? No, they come down pit road again as well.
They came down pit road right prior to the caution. I remember we were in a cycle of green flag pit stops when the caution came out, so that ended up miring those guys back further. They were able to get their lap back, but there was at that point they had just pitted, no point in coming down pit road.
Absolutely.
So most of those drivers are going to stay out. Mikey Neal Jr. will find himself back in that 4th spot. Ellison, our leader, Cedric Hunter in 2nd. Lights are out on the pace car, it looks like, so they're going to get them lined back up. Ellison, Hunter side by side. Ellison's going to choose the inside. Neal and Newbigging 3rd and 4th.
Iverson and Granger better hurry up and catch up to the backside of this field. As you see Farmer, they're laying a little farther back. There's Terry. Don't really understand where these drivers are at, but beep beep, kids, the bus is here. Time to go to school. Time to punch that time clock, as we're going green, BJ.
7 cars left in this group. We're going to roll into turn number 3. Not sure how many drivers left on track right now. Looks like it's going to be 9 cars left on track. Green flag is back out. Gabriel Ellison off to an excellent jump. He's going to bring Doug Newbigging right along with him into that 2nd position. Cedric Hunter, one of our playoff drivers, sits now in that 3rd spot. Mikey Neal Jr. finds himself still in 4th, trying to track these guys back down. Jonathan Cogswell looked for a moment there like he was going to take a look to the inside of Doug Newbigging. Thinks better of it. David Farmer back to that aggressive run that we've seen from him already. He's going to take that outside line, let the momentum try to carry him around, and it looks as though it's going to work. Cedric Hunter, there's a little bit of a block there, stays to the high side, forces Farmer to stay up higher, but look at the momentum. Cedric Hunter dives down. Farmer has to run a little bit of evasive maneuvers to shoot back to the outside. He's going to go for that 3rd position. Farmer has it at the line. Cedric Hunter clear down on the apron, trying to maintain his position Farmer, the momentum is going to be in his favor. He's going to take over that spot. It's now Ellison, Newbigging, Farmer, Hunter, and Neal.
You know, one thing I see these drivers not picking up on, BJ, is that David Farmer is the only driver not cutting that dog leg in half. He's the only driver that's running that dog leg all the way out. Or wait, your leader might have picked up on it. No, you see both drivers. You see everybody else dive down to the inside of that dog leg there. Hunter is the only driver running that outside. He's carrying the momentum. And he's not, like we talked about earlier, that burns up your tires just a little bit more each lap. So that probably explains why Farmer is so good in the beginning of these runs. As we got a car around, that's Mikey Neal. He's sideways, turned around in front of the whole field as he's going to go for a wild ride on the front stretch. Brian Terry, you see there in the wall in the 13 car, is Mikey Neal Jr. He's going to tow that beautiful number 8 Hurricane car to the pits, and chaos unfolds here just past your halfway point.
And again, Mikey Neal Jr. gets loose. Looks like he just got loose all on his own once again. Hard hit to that inside wall to the rear end. The car actually looks alright, but the damages there have got to be substantial. You can see right there as he sits in pits, the left front of his car's got a little bit of wear on it now from that hit. Yeah, he got into a Brian Terry on that one there. Just a bad night all the way around for the driver of that 8 car. And you know, with very limited number of drivers in the field, it's going to be very difficult for him to get laps back. He's already mired 1 lap down from that one there, and might hope if I get us back to the live pictures, huh?
Absolutely. You might have seen a little damage on the number 7 of Doug Newbigging's car there too as well. Brian Terry definitely has some kind of substantial damage as he just plows into the 8 car of Mikey Neal Jr. Nowhere to go for him. Wrong place, wrong time. As you know, we see the
72 and 71.
Tony Iverson. Yes, sorry. Coming out of pit road there, and definitely not what you wanted to see on the, you know, got just over 100 laps to go here, a little more than 110 laps to go, and you know, laps are winding down. We still got a long ways to go. That's definitely not what Mikey Neal Jr. wanted to see. It's definitely not what Brian Terry wanted to see. Any of those guys that got a contact out of there. That's racing. I don't know if there's net code between Cogswell and Mikey Neal, or if Cogswell just kind of come up, or maybe Neal came down, and either way, big contact for the 8 machinist. He's going to park it here tonight. His championship run is over.
And not looking good for him. I'll be surprised if he makes it back on track, and if he does, it'd be very difficult for him to get back on lap. He's now 3 laps down behind the race leaders, and it looks as though the championship chase is going to be down to Ellison and Hunter. 2 lucky duck drivers are left, and that is it. No matter how you look at it at this point in time, it is going to be a lucky duck driver coming home with the championship here tonight. So great run all season long for those drivers. While we got a second, we're going to thank our sponsors once again. We got Roasted Gems Coffee, Nitro Racing, Huffman Designs. Man, I'm forgetting one again. We'll see.
That happens. You'll have that.
I'm going to see if I can't get it. Let's go here to YouTube. Here.
Pace car's going to duck on off. We have Gabriel Ellison, David Farmer, your front row, Matt Granger, Cedric Hunter, Tony Iverson, Doug Newbigging, Jonathan Cogswell. Your 7 cars left on the racetrack here at Phoenix for your Bluegrass Iracing Series Cup Series Championship Round of 4, Final 4. Coming to the green, your Geico Restart Zone 77 Ellison and the 84 Farmer. are going to lead us to the green. They enter the zone, and Ellison is on a loud pedal. He gets a great start, clicking off lap number 192 out of 312. The 77 gets a great jump. He's out front. Farmer, Hunter, Ranger, New Bigging. Coming out of 3 and 4, he's going to continue to lead Ellison. Dominating run so far. He's been in that top spot, 3rd or 2nd place all night long. Been up front. Steve McMillian talked about it in the beginning of the show. He had a great run in the trucks and the cars. Definitely one of the favorites here tonight at Phoenix. One of the fastest cars. David Farmer, though, he's so good on early leg runs. As we have a car around sideways, it looked like on the racetrack there. And that is going to be the 7 of Doug Newbigin. He is going to just bring that hot rod to the pits. His night is done. Not the drive that driver's looking for either.
We'll take a look at our instant replay here. Looks like he's just going to get loose. Same spot that had happened to him the last time. Just loose off the corner. Hard impact to the inside wall this time for him. Unfortunate for Doug Newbigin. If he doesn't make it back on the track, this will put us at 7 drivers left in the race. And I have our other sponsors now.
Very nice.
We'll get back to live pictures. I had to go back to an old to last night's broadcast, but we got Kinder Performance Group, Butt Kicker, Metro Racing, Huffman Designs, and Roasted Gems Coffees. Special thanks to all of those drivers for sponsoring the series here all season long. These drivers have managed to put on a fantastic show.
Yeah, it's been a good season. A lot of good racing, a lot of good calls. I know I found myself going back and watching quite a few of these. Definitely a good series that that Bluegrass puts on. You know, they do I believe it's the trucks on Monday, the Xfinity on Tuesday, and now here Wednesday night we have the Cup Series Championship here at Phoenix. Little smaller car count, but you know, I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast. You know, unfortunately, these drivers aren't here to finish out the series. But these drivers are here. They're putting on a heck of a show, BJ.
That they definitely are. 4 drivers come down pit road during that pit stop, being led off by Ellison and Cogswell, and Newbigin still on pit road. Unfortunate for him. Not the way he wanted his night to go. Our top 5 right now, David Farmer's made his way back in the race lead. Cedric Hunter 2nd. Matt Grenier 3rd. Tony Iverson 4th. And Ellison finds himself back in 5th. Ryan Terry's going to bring it down pit road now in that number 13 machine.
Yeah, big contact for the 13 machine. That DeWalt-powered Chevy Camaro there is he got into it with Mikey Neal Jr. in the front stretch in that second to last caution as we're gonna single file out behind a pace car here. I was gonna say something and now come. Oh, yes, right there. Turn number 1. I've been calling that turn 3 all night because I am used to racing the legacy version of this track, and that used to be turn number 3 at one point. So that is actually turn 1. There's turn 2.
It was indeed, and that was the version of the track that I was used to, but I'll be honest with you, I really like this version. I like having the dog leg as the front straightaway.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this was a great call.
Lap 197 of 312 here tonight. 115 laps to go when the pace car hits the stripe right here. Farmer, Hunter, side by side for this restart. I think I got math right. 115. Yeah, 115 laps remaining. Caution number 5 on the night. Now, I think we're almost to the Xfinity Series and Truck Series combined cautions right now. Almost.
Oh, okay.
I think the number would be 7 to combine the two, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, 2 of these cautions were stage breaks. Gotta remember that. So 5 here tonight. Yeah. So yeah, right on. As you see, Brian Terry, he's gonna catch the back of this field. They're about to go green. man that's been in and out of pit road, in and out of lucky dog situations. Not the night he's looking for, but he's still there at the end. He's hanging on in that dual-powered machine as the 84 Farmer and the 71 of Hunter are going to bring us to the green. Iverson and the Granger are there as well. Farmer hits the gas, coming green flag. Lap 199 out of 312 for the Bluegrass Iracing Cup Series Championship Final 4 here at Phoenix.
Matt Grenier, the furthest up we've seen him all night long, rising that third spot battle for fourth right now. Iverson and Ellison side by side down the back straightaway. Grenier's going to jump to the inside, is going to slow Ellison down and allow Iverson to get that momentum on the outside.
Big dive down by the 77.
Big dive. Everybody's starting to single file it back out. Now, you know, you mentioned Brian Terry riding in a 7th spot, still hanging on to this race, getting a lucky dog after lucky dog, bringing him right back to the lead lap. At this point, it's looking as though Brian Terry might end up with a top 5 finish just based on attrition. And
absolutely.
And right now, we've got Ellison looking to the inside of Matt Grenier for that 3rd spot. He's right there at the door. Go ahead.
Ellison and Hunter being your final 2 playoff drivers here, final 2 of your final 4. Hunter in 2nd, Ellison looking for 3rd here on Granger, and that's your championship battle right there, sitting 2 and 3. Farmer out front, having a heck of a run on the early runs, like we talked about all night long. He's just so fast on these restarts, and but I mean that's your battle right there for your championship. Is sitting 3rd and 2nd, or 2nd and 3rd right now. As you see, Iverson, he led a couple laps in this race here, and he's not said and done with it either. He wants to go back to the front. And he wants to do it now.
That he definitely does. Our last 2, as you mentioned, sitting 2nd and 3rd. You know, these guys are teammates, but you got to think in the closing stages of this race, the gloves will be coming off, if you will.
Yeah.
You got to, they might be teammates, but down at the end of the day, this is a race for championship. This is a race for the pride. This is a race for the money. You got to go after it. You got to give it all you got, teammate or not. It's do or die time.
Depending on how much the championship purse is, I mean, I'd probably give my teammate a bump and run for the championship. I mean, even depending on, I guess it's kind of irrelevant how much the money is, you know, just for the title of having that points championship, getting your name up to, you know, bragging rights, especially amongst your teammates. You know, haha, I won Bluegrass, you didn't. You know, that's definitely something that crosses your mind. I mean, so the bump and run scenario is there, whether they're teammates or not. You know, you see the 71 of Hunter. He's going to continue to pull away. Ellison, he's just kind of hanging back there, doing his thing. Iverson, Granger, Jonathan Cogswell, Brian Terry, Doug Newbigging, and Mike Neal. Mike Neal, Newbigging, both of them out of this race. 7 cars in your lead lap. Riding around on the static camera. Big bobble from Terry. Terry is in the wall out of turn number 2. Big contact for Terry. Not the night that he is wanted to have. He's having a rough night, but he is going to come home at the very least with 7th position. Just not going the way he wants things to go for him. Farmer continues to lead. Cedric Hunter, Gabriel Ellison, Tony Iverson, Matt Granger are going to run with your top 5. These drivers just continue to single file around. 206 out of 312 down. We're just riding around doing laps. Everybody kind of hanging tough. Hunter, Ellison, that's your championship battle. Drivers are running 2nd and 3rd on the racetrack. Farmer, the gap is 2.1617 seconds. He is driving away. But these drivers, they're going to have to make 1 more, maybe 2 more pit stops. That's for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned Farmer's driving away, but we've seen it multiple times here tonight already. Farmer might be pulling away like that, but will that last? The tires will come into play eventually, and who has saved the most is what it really will come down to. We've seen it several times here tonight already. Ellison takes a look to the inside of Cedric Hunter. Hunter's got the momentum though. He will continue to maintain that second position and battle for the championship right here on screen.
As they are racing each other very hard, teammates or not. They are racing each other extremely hard. As Ellison, he's on the backside of Hunter. He's going to push him just about through 3 and 4 as he's closed up right to the backside of him. Excuse me, 1 and 2. That is the new 1 and 2. Come on, Brain. We got to remember that as they're going to come into turns 3 and 4 now. Hunter is going to fend him off for now. Ellison drops back a little bit. Maybe he's going to let him run, see if he'll burn up his tires a little bit more, and he'll be easier to catch later on.
Yeah, when you push too hard, you start to slide a little bit, puts a lot of heat in your tires. A lot of times it's better just to back off and let them cool down a little bit. Even if you do lose some ground, it's still a good idea to do that. But Gabriel Ellison must be feeling alright. He closed that gap back up between he and Cedric Hunter just a little bit. You see it there on the bottom right of your screen, just riding just below 0.2 of a second between those two drivers, falling right in Cedric Hunter's tire tracks right now. Right up to the back bumper of them through turns 1 and 2.
Absolutely, I wouldn't count Iverson out of this race yet. He's been there all the race. He led some of the race laps here tonight. He's got Granger and Cogswell behind him, but he's just hanging on. He's fending his own off, or he's I cannot speak right now. English is hard. He is just fending off the challenges. He's doing his own thing. Riding around, 100 laps to go exactly on the mark. 100 laps to go. You battle on screen right now between Hunter and Ellison, your 2 championship contenders. Farmer just completely checked out. Just to call it for what it is, he's 3.6 seconds ahead of these guys. Obviously 100 laps to go. Tire wear factor, green flag pit stops only from here on out unless we need a caution. Hoping that does not happen, but definitely he's checked out from these guys right now. He's not even on screen as Ellison. He's going to look to the inside of Hunter. Teammates battling for that second spot and the championship, BJ.
Yeah, it all comes down to this 100 laps remaining now for these drivers. 99 here in just a moment when they hit the stripe. David Farmer, 3.5 second lead, the biggest lead we've seen out of anybody all night long over Cedric Hunter and Gabriel Ellison. I mean, and you know, at this point, if I'm Ellison and Hunter, I'm not thinking about the race win. I'm thinking about beating that guy behind me or that guy in front of me, depending on whether or not you're Ellison or Hunter. And you know, the time for being a teammate, in my mind, is over at this point. You know, it's go time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm not saying that I would completely junk my teammate and, you know, end his night, but I would definitely, if I had a big enough run on him and we're sitting down, you know, at the end of the day, we're both racing for that championship. You know, we're still, just because we have the same sticker on our side of the car doesn't mean that I'm gonna race you any differently than anybody on the track. Yeah, you know, being my teammate, I'm probably gonna be, you know, a little bit more cautious around, you know, maybe give you a little bit more, you know, somebody that's not my teammate. But at the end of the day, especially tonight, we're racing for championship. The gloves are off. If I need to give you a little bit of bump and run and move you up into that next lane to get around you, I will. I mean, that's just call it for what it is. I mean, we're championship racing. And hopefully these boys can understand that and nobody gets no hard feelings at the end of the night.
Glad I'm not your teammate, because then I might have some really bad hard feelings, because I already knew you'd give me a bump and run.
Oh, man. It's just, you know, sometimes, especially racing, I mean, and you know, the thing is like we talked about earlier, how short our races are compared to these asphalt guys, and the frustration that has to mount inside one of these race cars, especially when you're riding around out here doing 100, 200, 300 laps. I mean, we've been a part of a couple 100 lappers, you know, here and there, BJ, ourselves, but 200, 300, 400 laps, I mean, if I'm riding around behind the same guy for 400 laps, and he's doing some questionable stuff, I'm gonna get pretty PO'd at some point in that race. So hats off to these guys. You definitely have to have a cool level head when you drive these race cars.
Definitely can agree with you on pretty much all forms on that one. But we'll take a look on board right now with Tony Iverson riding in that 4th spot. You know, he's had a good race going for him here tonight. Just 6 cars left on the racing surface, but yeah, Tony Iverson just staying calm, cool, and collected just really helped him a long way in this race. Talked about it a little bit earlier. He led quite a few laps, and you can see right there on his camera, you know, he's not getting excited. He's not getting antsy. He's not stressing. He's just staying calm.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, a little bit of a wiggle there. Had to catch it out of turn number 2 there. Not to cut you off, a little bit of a wiggle. So, you know, nerves are definitely a thing, you know, but for the most part, he looks like he's calm, just kind of hanging out. Very, very, very smooth on the wheel for the most part. Yes, Cogswell, you see Cogswell, he was closed up to the back of the 15 car there. He's starting to look to the inside now of Granger, and, you know, maybe might be swip swapping positions for the 5th spot there. 2 drivers we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight is Cogswell and Granger.
And Grenier, he's
Or
been
Grenier,
kind
sorry,
of
excuse me.
he's been kind of quiet here tonight. It's all right, you'll get there. You're gonna be with us all next season, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
But Grenier, he's stayed quiet. He's not been real far back. He's not been real far forward. He's just kind of stayed quiet tonight. And with the battle of attrition here tonight, he's made his way into that 5th spot and riding fairly comfortably right now. Cogswell just riding along right there behind him. You know, these guys, like you said, we've not talked a lot about them. You know, we've not talked a lot about them throughout the season, but you know what? They've done a great job. We had a Lucky Duck clean sweep one night in the entire top 5 with the Lucky Duck drivers. Cogswell's now going to look to the inside of Matt Grenier down the back straightaway, and when even Jonathan Cogswell got up there in the top 5 with his teammates and had a fantastic run. We had Zimmerman up there in the number 20, Aaron Smith, if I'm not mistaken. No, Aaron Smith was not in that race. It was Ellison, Hunter, Cogswell, Zimmerman, and New Biggie. Clean sweep in the top 5 for those guys. So fantastic run. David Farmer, the leader, comes down pit road in that number 84 machine.
Here it is. This is the cycle. You know, lap 224 out of 312. I mean, we got 90-something laps to go, and here we are. You know, we're getting down to the closing stages of this race. It's been a long one, BJ, but it's definitely proved to be exciting. You know, now the sun, I think, is finally setting around this racetrack, so the track temp's going to start dropping, and here's your first driver, not only your first driver, but your race leader in the pit road.
It seems to be working on a 50-lap strategy. He's got 2 pit stops now back-to-back right at 50 laps. So, you know, the strategy call looks a little bit different than what we see out of several of these other drivers. Most of them sticking with that right around that 60-lap mark that we got from the stages. But Farmer,
I think 50 is the play. Yeah, I think he'll be able to heat. So he'll have to stop one more time at 50, but these guys will also have to stop one more time. So, and if he keeps sticking on that 50-lap pit window, and these guys keep sticking on the 60-lap pit window, he could. If no cautions come out and he keeps running the way he is, I think that might be a race winner here tonight, BJ.
You know, I'm going to have to agree with you on this one here because these guys, it's hard to tell just how long they'll stay out. Right now, they're sitting on 36 and 30 lap old tires. Actually, I'll tell you really quickly, if they both took tires on the last pit stop. So they're sitting on 30 and 36 lap old tires. And they've got quite a ways to run before they reach that 60 lap mark. There's the thought in the back of your mind, how much ground is David Farmer going to make back up now that he's on fresh tires and just honestly really just flying around this track at this point in time to catch back up to these guys. His first car a lap down, but if he can make up the ground, get back by these guys even possibly before they come down pit road, these guys aren't as much lucky. No, they're not as much lucky
right
ducks
there
tonight. He is right there. They're not as much lucky ducks as what they are sitting ducks at that point. As right now they run first and second, but Farmer's on lap down, and you see he's right there.
He's
coming out of right there goes the leaders into turn 1. He
absolutely great strategy being played with that driver right there.
David Farmer, I really think I have to agree with you. He's the man to beat here tonight. right at this point in time. These guys, yeah, they're fighting for a championship. They're the one of the two that's going to come home with a championship. At this point, the race winner, you've got to put your cards in on David Farmer at this point.
Absolutely, and the thing is too is these two drivers now, they're kind of forced to stay out there. I mean, yes, they could come down pit road right now, but I don't think they would want to. I mean, I think they want to try to hang out as long as they can, fend off this charge from Farmer, see how long they can stretch their tires, because if they can make that 60 lap window, they're gonna have to pit. They might not have to pit one more time, BJ. Actually, now that I think of it, it's gonna be close for these guys. Two teammates running 1 and 2. Granger in the, Granger, Ellison in the 77, Hunter in the 71. But here comes Farmer. If he can get around these guys, I mean, I really do think if this pit strategy, we stay caution free. I mean, look at the run. I mean, he's so much faster on these tires, and these guys got 30, 40 laps on these tires. So realistically, 30, 40 laps, your tires fall off quite a bit. He's going to dive down to the inside of Ellison now. Pit strategy, BJ, is there's so much that goes into it. We were talking about it earlier. I can't wrap my head around it.
There really is, and I have to agree with you. That's why usually when I run asphalt, I have me a spotter that sets up my pit stops and tells me what to do. But
exactly,
right now, David Farmer is going to fight back and take his lap back here under green flag before these guys even come down pit road. Matt Grenier just made his way off of pit road in that number 15 machine. He rides in that 6th spot. He was the second driver to come down and make a green flag pit stop. To the inside of Cedric Hunter, David Farmer will get his lap back. He is back on the lead lap now in that number 84 machine. Matt Grenier, the first car lap down, the only car lap down left still on the track. Farmer has got plenty of time to make it up now. These guys, they're in massive danger now. I don't know if it's possible to split the remainder of the race, but trouble for Tony Iverson. Jonathan Cogswell, it just lit up red. Iverson goes around, catches Cogswell's left rear. Cogswell goes around. Looks like we're gonna stay green though, but
wow.
Iverson, Cogswell still scored in 3rd and 4th. We might very well end up coming down to just 2 drivers left on the lead lap, depending on how this one's gonna play out.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be interesting then coming to, if there is a final restart, what's going to unfold there. Might be one of those Talladega Nights situations where we only have 2 drivers left on the racetrack fighting up for the championship. But I mean, Farmer, you see him, I mean, he's got the fresh tires, he's on a roll. 25 seconds, probably about half a lap behind your leaders right now. Your leaders will be coming in, I would imagine, in the next 10, 15 laps, if not sooner. He's just riding around pushing. He's a full, I'd give him about dang near full straightaway on these guys, on your leaders. They are going to have to stop one more time, though, BJ. That's the thing. So we're really going to see what unfolds here in the next 20, 30 laps.
There's no way around it. These guys are going to have to stop at least one more time. I'm really interested in seeing if these guys can stretch it out enough to only make one more pit stop at the end of the race. Right now, they sit 1 and 2. Hunter on 48 lap old tires, Ellison on 42 lap old tires. So Ellison with the fresher tires between those two. However, Farmer has not just unlapped himself, but is coming to pass Cogswell and Iverson for that 3rd and 4th position. He's absolutely moving right now. And, Cedric Hunter, he's not that far behind Farmer. Right there is Cedric Hunter and Gabriel Ellison. Right here is Farmer, just made the pass for 3rd as he heads in through the tri-oval. Here comes the leaders across the start-finish line and through the travels. They're right there. They're not far behind.
Well, you know, the thing is, I'm thinking too, is that if there is a yellow that comes out, and they're all gonna have to pit again, but if this caution does come out, Farmer, if I was in Farmer's shoes, I would go in with the leaders, get right back on brand new tires, and we know how good Farmer is on the green flag restart run, and just drive away from these guys at the end of the race.
That is very, very true. We have, on the other hand, we have no idea how many sets of tires these guys actually have left. But right now, it is all Cedric Hunter, Gabriel Ellison for first and second. The gap has increased, though, between those two drivers. On the back, we got the battle going for that fourth position between Cogswell and Iverson. Cogswell's going to get the position over Tony Iverson through turns 1 and 2.
Absolutely. As you see the lights flick on here at Phoenix Motor Speedway for the Bluegrass Iracing Series Cup Series Championship Final 4 here at Phoenix. You know, once again, shout out to Bluegrass for having us here at Ultimate Dirt TV covering this series. You know, BG, you got the sponsors list. Shout out to all the sponsors that, you know, help put this on and promote this. Thank you guys for having me here tonight. Definitely an honor. Sorry Steven couldn't be here, but this is a lot of fun, and definitely seeing some good racing. And right now we're seeing Hunter. He's definitely pulled out to a big lead over his teammate Ellison, but I'm really curious and excited to see the end of this race because I'm kind of pulling for Farmer at this point.
Yeah,
being a new guy, you know.
I can't argue with that call. Farmer coming out of turn number 2 right there. The leader, Cedric Hunter, coming out of turn 2 there. So actually it looks as though the gap is, in fact, no, the gap is still growing. So David Farmer is still continuing to work his way around the track. It almost looked for a moment there as though it might have been closing.
I mean, he's 20 seconds back, so he's about a half a lap behind these guys. He's about a full lap, I guess I would say. Roughly 29 second, 30 second lap, somewhere in there. He's about a half a lap, quarter of a lap behind these guys, and you know, Farmer, how many laps does Farmer have on his tires now? He's got to have at least 20, 30 laps on those tires, roughly. So tire wear now becoming a factor for him as well.
Well, it's not enough to show up down there. So let's see if we can find the pit stop lap. So David Farmer last pitted on lap 223. He's got 23 lap old tires.
Yeah, so he's approaching on 30 lap old tires. He's pitting every 50 laps. Yeah, his pit strategy is looking really good, to be honest with you, especially if he keeps pitting on those 50 lap windows. He's sitting around 260 when he comes in. That's more than enough to get him through this race. Actually be just enough to get him through this race. So definitely some pit strategies sitting there. I believe we were talking about Hunter and Ellison both pitting on roughly 60, 55, 60 lap windows. Track map up on the screen. Kind of see where everybody's riding around. Go ahead, BJ.
Yeah, you can see the difference with that track map where David Farmer, as you see the 84 coming to the start-finish line, that little red line there on the track map. Cedric Hunter, the 71, our race leader. Ellison behind him. They're just now heading into turn 3. So that gap between those two, those drivers from Farmer to Ellison and Hunter is right just under a half a track now. See right now, Farmer down into turn number 3. Ellison and Hunter coming out of turn number 4 right about the same time. So they got the full back straightaway gap between them. So it is growing. Farmer is starting to work his way towards catching them.
Yeah, no, definitely the gap continues to shrink. That's for sure. I guess my question would be, because Ellison and Hunter, they have to be coming in for tires here pretty quick. I would imagine seeing both of these drivers being hit in pit road very, very shortly here. Hunter is on lap 60. Ellison on 54. There you see Farmer 26.
They can, in fact, do it on one more pit stop, though, and they're going to have considerably fresher tires.
Exactly, right.
Than David Farmer. And actually, looking at it right there, I'm thinking David Farmer might be the driver in trouble, because if he's going to end up having to pit one more time, these guys have 62 laps to the end of this race. David Farmer might be the driver in trouble at this point.
I think David Farmer, I think is, if he can hold on though, by the end of this race, he will have the better tires. I think, or no, I'd be wrong. He would not have. He would not.
Well, if he's got one more pit stop, and he does, and if he has another set of tires in the bank, depending on when he chooses his pit stop, Tony Iris is going to bring it pit side in the 72 machine for what could be his final stop of the race. Hunter and Ellison still continue to lead. Cogswell, your last car on the lead lap, but not by much. As Cedric Hunter not far behind him.
So in order for Farmer to pit right now and not have to stop the rest of this race, he's gonna have to come into the next 8 to 10 laps. Well, I mean, he could go right now, but I think comfortably for him, I think he should be coming in about lap 260, 258, somewhere in there.
Ellison comes down pit road. Tony Iverson has completed his pit stop. He's on his way out. He got a 14.8 second stop. He's riding right now in that 6th position. Here comes Cedric Hunter down pit road now. Ellison, I'm not showing him out of his pit stall yet. Let's take a look, see just how long he's been in his stall. His stop should be coming to an end right about there. It is 15.1 second stop for Ellison Cogswell down pit road now as well. David Farmer.
Definitely going to be interesting because that's Farmer's got to be coming in here the next couple of laps. I think that's when I would want to come in and get that fresh rubber, or maybe we want to push it longer. He is your race leader again.
David Farmer has, in fact, taken over the race lead, as you just mentioned. Cogswell with a 15.2, Cogswell with a 15-second lap. Hunter with a 15.2 second pit stop. All those drivers rejoin the field. That's going to put David Farmer, race leader, Matt Grenier in second. Gabriel Ellison in third. Cedric Hunter in fourth. Iverson fifth. Cogswell lap down in that 6th spot. So, you know, if I'm David Farmer, if I've got one more pit stop, here's my thought. You're thinking he's going to have to come down here soon. My thought is stay out, wait for these guys to run and wear their tires out. Let them wear their tires out. Come down pit road. I wouldn't even wait for them to get past you. Let them wear their tires out.
Yep.
Come down, get your fresh tires with enough time to make it back up. David Farmer comes back down pit road, so he must have been listening to you on that call. Really surprising on that one. See it down on the bottom of your screen, 13 seconds. Now down pit road, 17 seconds. We'll see when he comes back out.
To get out without being a lap down. It'll be close. He should rejoin these leaders roughly on the backstretch.
Now he falls to second. Matt Grenier, your race leader. Grenier's one that we haven't really talked about a whole lot. We did just talk about him just a little bit ago. His
gonna be close, BJ.
last pit lap was on 2:30. He's currently the race leader.
Pit stop's done.
Farmer's on his way out, 15.1 second pit stop.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's take a look at the track map and see where he's at. Let's get car number. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. he's got a straightaway gap between Hunter, and Ellison. But Ellison and Hunter's tires are not that much older than
Nope.
David Farmer's. Farmer has got one heck of an uphill battle now by pitting so close to the same time that they did. He has just balanced, I feel like he's balanced the playing field on who's going to have fresher tires, who's going to have the rubber at the end. We've already seen just how strong Ellison and Hunter are on fresh tires. Right now, Ellison leads the way, Hunter in second. Grenier in third, Farmer fourth, Iverson fifth. Those are your 5 lead lap drivers.
But on the flip side, we've seen how good Farmer is on green flag restarts and with how fast he is with brand new tires. I think he might be the fastest driver on brand new tires. I think Hunter and Ellison, they're a little bit better managing their tires. And they're gonna, that's what you see them running 60, 65 lap pit stall windows, or pit stop windows. So I think they're gonna be on for the duration. I think they're both just running like crazy right now. But also, I mean, we're forgetting that these two drivers right here on screen, the 77 and the 71, they're fighting for the championship. They are running first and second right now. The winner of this race, the winner of this race on screen right now is going to be your 2022 Bluegrass Cup Series champion, BJ.
And with just 50 laps to go, Cedric Hunter all over the back bumper of Gabriel Ellison. This is for the race lead. I do feel like David Farmer is out of the picture now. But right now, the championship race, the lead race is on. Tony Iverson in that 5th spot. You see him just up ahead of Gabriel Ellison. He's in danger of going a lap down. Could he play a factor in who comes home with the race win and ultimately the championship? Hunter still all over the back bumper of his teammate Gabriel Ellison.
As he closes up the backside of Gabriel Ellison, as he gets a little bump in the rear, 71 teammate of the 77 says, "Hey, I'm here, man. It's time for you to get up out of the way or get on the gas pedal because I'm going to win me a championship." Side by side through 3 and 4, Ellison up the track. Hunter sticks to the bottom. Ellison is going to have that drive off coming out of 4. Gets a little draft from Tony Iverson there as he is the next car going to go a lap down. I think that'll actually put him. Oh no, he did get his lap back, so that will be the first car going 1 lap down here on the track. Cogswell being your car, on only other car being a lap down in the race. Everybody else is out of the race. Granger on pit road.
You see it down there on the bottom.
15.
You see it down there on the bottom of your screen. I do apologize. I don't know why their initials are in white and so hard to see down there. That one's quite interesting. I thought it would be a neat little aspect to have that down there, but it's hard to see their name. Greenier's going to fall back into 4th. Still on pit road. He has started his pit stop now, though.
Iverson falling a lap down to Hunter and Iverson here. Or Ellison.
15-second pit stop for Matt Grenier. Just 3 cars remaining on the lead lap. It is a race between Hunter and Ellison. David Farmer right now sits 15 seconds back from the race leader of Cedric Hunter. Just over half a lap behind these guys.
The gap is shrinking, BJ. I've been keeping my eye on it. I've been watching it. It was at 16, just about 17 seconds. It's down. It was 16. He's down to 15.5 now. David Farmer is on the gas pedal. He's on the move. If I had to imagine, Hunter and Ellison, they are looking at their lap times and looking at the splits and realizing the reality of the situation. It's now who's going to be able to save those tires longer.
That it most definitely is, but 15-second gap. Farmer is on the hunt. Does he have enough in those tires to get him caught up to about a half a track back from these guys? You look at the lap times, he's almost 3/10 quicker than Hunter and Ellison, but Hunter and Ellison, they have no reason to push right at this point. It's just these two, they're right here with each other. They can race it out in the last few laps for that championship. And saving right now for both these drivers is the best bet. If they push it too much, David Farmer might possibly be able to catch them. That time, 3.5 tenths faster than Hunter and Ellison.
Yeah, so I mean, you do the math. Every 3 laps, he's making up a second on these drivers. I'm doing the math in my head a little bit. I don't know if he's gonna have enough to catch them, but he's gonna be damn close at the end of it. And it's definitely gonna be a heck of a race. That is if Ellison and Hunter aren't already pushing. As you see, the gap now down to 14.4. So he's making up a second actually roughly every 2 laps, 2.5 laps. So Farmer, he's on the move. We'll definitely see who's better on old tires.
And here throughout the race, it's looked as though it's been Cedric Hunter, the dominant driver on the long run. Just 41 laps remaining when these drivers hit the stripe the next time. Hunter, Ellison by themselves, but still with each other. It's a lucky duck race at this point for the championship. Neal and Huffman both out of the race. You know what? I'm gonna dial that one back for Neal. Seemed like ever since we had him on camera, we had him week after week on camera, and he seemed to have good luck. Qualify up in the front, race up in the front, have a top 3, top 5 finish at worst, and tonight a little bit of technical difficulties trying to get his camera to connect, and he's out of the race early and out of the championship. So unfortunate for him, and I'm gonna dial that one up to blaming it on the cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whatever you gotta tell yourself at the end of the day, right? No, absolutely. Maybe along with that, maybe his, that something just small like that could throw somebody's mindset completely off, But I mean, I'm still sitting here. I'm watching this gap. Farmer is down to 13.4, soon to be 13 seconds flat. He's gaining a second every 2 laps. That does give him enough laps to catch these drivers. And another thing that I thought of, BJ, is that if these two start battling, Farmer's just going to start catching them quicker and quicker and quicker, because remember, these guys are still battling for your championship here tonight. So this race is far from over yet.
That it most definitely is. There's still quite a ways to go here. Just under 40 laps remaining in the race, and Ellison has not allowed Hunter out of his sights in any way, shape, or form. Let's take a look at our lap times once again to see the difference between these two and Farmer. Farmer's still considerably faster by 3.5 tenths on 274 than these two drivers. Let's see on the track map just where he sits at. So he is catching them. He's got less than half a track to go now. It looks like Farmer crossed the line. Hunter and Ellison right about the same time. We're passing. You see the little dot on the other side of the track. That's halfway around the track. That is your delta marker. That's your sector marker with oval tracks with 2 sectors. Yeah, it's just
one bobble, BJ, by these race leaders, and that opens the door for Farmer. One bobble, one slip up. They are on older tires. Farmer is pushing harder. You see that gap down to 12.98 seconds now for Farmer. It's going to be close, BJ, but the thing that I keep thinking in my head is if these guys start battling side by side, if these guys knock each other off, then that's the thing. That's the one big thing. They're racing for a championship and their teammates. There's a lot going through. There's a lot at play right now. They obviously, one of those guys at the end of the night will be champion. But I can imagine that they would like to end the season off with a win. As you see that gap down to now 12.8 seconds. The man's coming, BJ. If we get a caution, whole new ball game.
Yeah, the race is on between those 3 drivers. The only 3 drivers left on the lead lap. And again, Farmer is catching them. You see it up on the top. I tried to make it stop doing that little flash, but I got us staying on the top 5 at least. And Ellison, I'm really surprised to not see him try to push his way around Hunter here, knowing how good Hunter is on the long runs. If I'm Ellison, I'm trying to get past Cedric Hunter here and just try to keep Hunter behind me.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You would think that you'd want to be leading right now, getting that clean arrow front. But also, I mean, Ellison is just also riding behind his teammate here. I don't know if he's necessarily pushing as hard. Maybe he is setting the pace for Hunter. Maybe he.
He's still gaining that time, but you can see it is slowed down on how quickly he is gaining on them. We got 2 car lengths now, about a car length and a half between Hunter and Ellison. Hunter has started to slowly pull away from Ellison. You can see that gap now starting to grow, nearly 0.3 of a second between those 2 drivers. Starting to wonder if Ellison's tires didn't start to fall off here. These guys, they are in chat together. They're actually just down below us here, but they're they've stuck together pretty much all races. It's been Cedric Hunter, Gabriel Ellison together all race long for playoff drivers. And they had their teammate of Doug Newbigging there with them, but he unfortunately has loaded it up for the night. But just 3 drivers left on the lead lap. You can see the gap up on the top of your screen. David Farmer is still closing that gap little by little, but what he really needs is a mistake out of these guys or a caution. With only 6 cars left on the track, getting a caution is going to be extremely difficult here. Well, I'm going to fill you in just a little bit here. If you spin out, hit the wall, hit one of the cars that's wrecking, even if you are the driver in position to receive the lucky dog, if iRacing reads a contact in any way, shape, or form, you actually forfeit the lucky dog. So spinning out, if he were to go a lap down when he spun out, he would actually he would force his hand at that point and take his name completely out of the mix. Yeah. So what he needs is Jonathan Cogswell, Tony Iverson, or Matt Grenier to spin out and bring out a caution. Or these leaders. Sure. he's been driving. You're good. The gap has in fact increased, and 6 lap difference in those tires is not a big difference. He had to push. He didn't really have a lot of choice. It was do or die time for David Farmer. He had to push to try to catch up to these guys, and it was just too little, too late. Only 3-lap difference in those tires was not quite enough to make up that difference. And Farmer, I honestly think he's just out of it now unless we get a caution, completely flip things on his head. He can come in, get more tires if he has them in the bank, and possibly have a shot at going after these guys. But at this point in time, I think the race for David Farmer is over, and it is solely down to Cedric Hunter and Gabriel Ellison. Right now, Cedric Hunter starting to gap Gabriel Ellison. It's all up to Cedric Hunter at this point in time. By the looks of it, half a second lead over his teammate Gabriel Ellison behind him. And Cedric Hunter, we've already seen Cedric Hunter extremely good on the long runs, and we're seeing it here right now as he is just continuing to gap Gabriel Ellison. I don't think there's any laying back for Gabriel Ellison. Only 17 laps to go. It is go time. There is no point right now in this race to laying back. You've got to go. 17 laps. You've got to take off. You've got to give it everything. You've got to go after it. And I think Cedric Hunter was able to play it smart, was able to save, and was able to do what he does and have those good long run tires at the end. As Cedric Hunter hits the stripe. Yeah. You said anything could happen. This is racing. That is the world that we're in. But I don't see it happening at this point. It's all Cedric Hunter. He's done what he needed to do here throughout the night. He's played it smart. He's got the pit strategy. He's got the pit right calls. And we've seen it all season long. He's just been a very smart driver, very calm driver, and looking to come home with yet another win here tonight and come home with the season championship. most definitely has. We reached our butt kicker 10 laps to go. Now dropping down to 9 laps to go. The lead for Cedric Hunter has gotten to almost 1.4 seconds between he and Gabriel Ellis and David Farmer. He's fallen back all the way to 16 seconds back. You said it, Cedric Hunter has been the man to beat, even though he hadn't led the most laps until the end, till the last stage of the race. He's been there. He's been quiet, kind of there, just kind of riding in the top 3, top 5 position. And then he got up front. He has not looked back ever since. 1.5 seconds to his teammate now in second place. You know, he's been incredibly smooth out there tonight and throughout the entire season. This is what he's ran all season long for. So as we reach our Huffman Designs 5 laps to go, just 20 more turns for Cedric Hunter to come home with the race win and be crowned the Bluegrass Cup Series champion. It is what it is, man. I mean, we're down to 3 drivers on the lead lap here at Phoenix. 6 drivers left in the race altogether. It just seemed like lap after lap almost. Once we reach the 3rd stage, just one driver after another taking it pit side. Just 6 more turns for Cedric Hunter to be crowned the Bluegrass Cup Series champion. Now out of turn number 4, we've got 4 turns remaining. White flag is in the air for Cedric Hunter. Ellis in 2nd, Farmer in 3rd. You know, now that we're on the last lap and he's out of the race, I guess I can go ahead and say my pick for the championship was Mikey Neal Jr. But without even saying him out loud, I guess I jinxed him. But 2 turns remain for Cedric Hunter down the back straightaway, down into turn number 3. Cedric Hunter will win your 2022 Bluegrass Cup Series championship. Gabriel Ellison will come home the race in 2nd. 2nd in the championship. David Farmer finishes the race in 3rd. Mikey Neal Jr. will be 3rd in your championship points, and Alex Huffman 4th in the championship. So what a fantastic season by all of these guys. Cedric Hunter's already got that thing looped around and doing his victory celebration in reverse here in the number 71 machine. Congrats to him. There's his teammate Jonathan Cogswell. A little out of practice. Take a look at our official results here on the race. Cedric Hunter coming home with the race win in dominating fashion for the Lucky Ducks. Gabriel Ellison finishing in second place. David Farmer third. Matt Grenier fourth. Jonathan Cogswell will round out your top five. And then Tony Iverson in sixth. So with that, we're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick commercial break. We will return, and for some reason, your mic was off. Oh, interesting. But at any rate, I don't know how long your mic's been off, but hey, I don't know how your mic got turned off either, but we will step aside for a quick commercial break, and we will return for post-race interviews. Alrighty, and we are back, and I will make sure to get Cody's mic turned back on. Just waiting right now for drivers to come back to the staging area. And if you're watching this back, I do apologize. I have no idea how long Cody's mic was off, or even how it got turned off, because I had the streaming software in the background where I couldn't even control it, couldn't even see it. But we're just waiting right now on these drivers to come to the staging area.
I'm going to see one of them in there. It's going to be the 77 of Gabriel Ellison.
Well,
and I don't see Farmer in the Discord at all, so I don't know if he's going to partake, but the drivers that went 1 and 2, I guess this would be number 2.
Well, I will let you go ahead and take the interview with Gabriel Ellison. Oh, David Farmer showed up. I'll get David Farmer and Cedric Hunter right after. Go ahead.
Well, Gabriel, heck of a run tonight. Coming home, bridesmaid to your teammate there. Heck of a run. The both of you guys just come up a little short. You definitely gave it your all. Good run all over. I heard you've been running the trucks in the Xfinity Series. You had some good runs over there as well.
No, wrong guy. I hadn't run those.
Well, all right. Well,
no,
either
you're
way,
good.
heck of a run tonight, man. Second place, championship night. Gonna come home second in the round of 4 here at Phoenix, and you got to be overall pretty happy, man. Especially out of anybody that beat you, it was one of your teammates. So,
Yeah.
pretty good night.
Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, I I ran pretty well at the beginning of the race, and I just couldn't keep the right rear on it. I mean, you had to save like crazy, and I just killed it both. But before the pit stop and after, I killed it trying to pass him, and then in the run he just drove off. So huge props to Cedric. He he managed that race pretty much as perfect as you possibly can. So I mean, hate to not win, but at least I felt like he deserved it. I hated the other two guys got wrecked. I mean, they got wrecked by non-playoff guys. One of them being our teammate. I mean, I hope that they don't think that that was intentional. At least I didn't tell him to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I never want to win like that. I would have loved to see Mikey and Alex both racing with us. That's just not how I am. So I hope that they don't think that was malicious on our part. But if they do, they do. It is what it is. Overall, though, enjoyed the season and appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's just kind of the reality of racing. You're running around at over 150 plus miles an hour. I mean, or sometimes over 200 miles an hour. It happens. That's just racing, and at the end of the day, I think everybody's just gotta accept that fact. And I definitely didn't see anything malicious out there, anything like that. But yeah, man, hats off to you, man, and hats off to your team. Hats off to you guys going 1-2 in this race, and overall having a really good season, man. I mean, before we let you go here, I gotta ask, who you got to thank, friends, family, sponsors, who helps you get it done, man.
Yeah, as always, a huge shout out to Lucky Ducks Motorsports with John Pill over there, running the team, being the team owner and everything. Really appreciate all he's done. And huge shout out Brandon Zimmerman with bringing out Roasted Gems Coffee. Use code Lucky Ducks for 15%. And of course, beautiful paint schemes from Shady Designs and also RS Button Boxes. And then huge shout out to all the guys at Bluegrass that made this season possible, and you guys in the booth as well for putting on a good show for us all season.
Absolutely appreciate it. Congratulations on your second place finish here tonight. And that's going to be Gabriel Ellison, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, so Ellison coming home in second. We'll go and interview the third place driver of David Farmer. Man, David, what a run you had here tonight in that 84 machine. Looked like you were going to win it there several times throughout the race, and then pit strategy just not going your way there at the end.
Yeah, I was kind of banking on a late race caution there to get me brought back up. I knew that they had such fresher tires than me that I tried to stretch it out as much as I could. I think I got out I was out almost 4 seconds, I think, whenever I pitted the first time, just trying to make up time, and then I just burnt the tires off of it at the end there.
It was definitely pulling for you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, guys.
He definitely was, but you went on totally different pit strategy, and like I said, it looked like it was really working towards you. You said you were banking on that late race caution, but it never came. The last time you pitted, you were gaining ground on the leaders really quickly. Did you think at any point in time that you're that it was gonna fall off, or did you think you would be able to catch up to them?
Oh, I knew it would fall off. I was in late race. It was either I was hoping for a late race caution or for them to race each other more. That was the only shot I really had. They had to really go at each other and not stay single file. But of course that didn't work. But yeah, it did fall off pretty hard. I mean, I had 20 laps of 5 to 6/10 faster pace, and then it just I just took the tires off and I had some skis going there.
So on a different note, a long season comes to an end here tonight. You didn't make the Final Four, but tonight you definitely showed that you were a contender, that you shoulda, coulda, woulda been up there in the Final Four had, another race or two gone your way throughout the season. Is it a possibility to see you back here next season, see you going after it again?
Yeah, well, definitely. I'm coming back next season. We've got a team together, myself, Matt Grenier, Brandon Robertson, Alex Healy's actually going to come up from Cup or Truck and race Cup with us, and then also got a newcomer, Riley Wyans is going to step in. So five-person team. We're gonna try to shake up the field a little bit.
All right, we'll go and thank your sponsor. Shout out somebody who helped make it possible for you here tonight.
Yeah, I just thank you guys for being here. I know this was Alex and I and Matt kept talking throughout the race at, lap 200, 250. just how bad you guys had to be bored just out of your minds with how stretched out we got there. But thank you guys so much for being here. This is something that a lot of us take a lot of pride in, especially Bluegrass League. Most of us have been here for at least enough time that we've gotten close, and we all view each other as friends. But thank you guys, and thank Jason for getting us all together. I know we all appreciate everything he does in and out of the league, um, and thank Alex for doing a spot as normal. I think he had to run race control tonight too, so that was a little bit of a upside down in our head kind of moment. But yeah, him, Alex, and thank Matt and just everybody. Just great season. I look forward to racing everybody next season.
All right. Well, congratulations again on your third place finish. Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much.
All right. And coming home with your race win and the championship at the end of the night, give it up for Cedric Hunter. So, what a race you had, man. You didn't do much in the way of leading until the second half of the final stage, but once you got up there, you never looked back.
Yeah, man, we took it really easy for the first half or 3/4 of the race, and we did what we had to. I didn't feel like I had very good short run pace, but going into it, I knew I was going to have probably pretty decent long run, and that's kind of what we did. We just played to our strengths, and thankfully, when the track got cooler and the transition to nighttime, my short run was able to pick up there, and I was actually able to contend. So, I want to say congrats to everyone that made it to the top four. I absolutely hate the fact that half of them weren't able to finish the race with incidents and different circumstances happening. So, sucks for them. Yeah, I would have liked to, win the championship with all four guys being right, or all the other three guys being right behind me. But unfortunately, it played out the way it did, and we'll take the championship, we'll take the money, and we'll go out and celebrate.
It just absolutely dominant season, and coming home with that championship. Are we going to see you back here next season to defend your title?
Unfortunately not. I told Jason a few weeks ago that my partner and I are expecting our first child here right in the new year, and I'm probably going to be taking a step back from racing starting next year. So unfortunately, I probably won't be back, but I'm definitely not keeping it out of, I'm not cutting ties or doing any of that stuff for the future. So, hopefully if I decide to come back, then these guys will have me back. And it's been a fun season. Tonight's race was long. It was grueling. It was full length races are fun. I really enjoy them, but god dang, they're hard.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Sorry, Bridget. I was gonna ask you, what is your teammate said that you had to save so much. How much is the difference between these next gen cars and the gen before that we were running here? How much more do you have to save, I guess?
I think the next gen cars are quite interesting with the way that they're set up right now, just for the fact that you really have to try and save that rear tire more than anything. Where I felt like the previous gen, the Gen 6 was, if I remember correctly, it was more about saving the right front. So the driving style has to be completely different. It was very unique, but I really enjoyed the way that it drove tonight. It just made it so if you're patient on the gas pedal, it really benefits you on the long run. And you kind of saw that with the different strategies throughout the field tonight, where you had guys that really pushed hard on the short run and that went guns a blazing, and then they fell off halfway through the run where they just didn't have the rears underneath them anymore, and we were able to play the opposite strategy, and it worked out well for us and put ourselves in contention. I want to apologize to everybody, to all the fans out there also that didn't get to see, I guess, a perfectly clean car with the burnouts at the end. Didn't want to get the damage, but I was eager to celebrate and want to start doing burnouts right away. So
can't blame you when you bring home the championship, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
I'll extend that congratulations again. Go ahead and thank your sponsor. Shout out to everybody who make it possible all season long and here tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I want to give a huge shout out to Rosa Gems Coffee. for supporting the league as well as supporting Lucky Ducks as a whole, and myself throughout this season. To Brandon Zimmerman and his team, he's been a huge help. So to anybody out there, if you honestly want to have, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased, I actually mean it. If you want to have the best coffee out on the market, please go check out roastedgems.com and use code Lucky Ducks for 15% off your purchase. They just released actually a new line of merch, so I strongly recommend going to check that out. I promise you won't regret it. I want to give you a shout out to Jason and Alex and the entire admin team that made the season possible, and all the drivers that came out. I want to give you a shout out to the other 3 contestants tonight. Again, we would have loved to see them, all of them, finish behind me, I guess, at the end of the race. But unfortunately, like I said earlier, it didn't play out that way. So good luck to all the drivers and the future drivers out there for next season. It's been a real honor. I look forward to seeing most of these guys, probably all of these guys on the sim in the future. And thanks to you guys and all the fans out there.
All right, well, congratulations again, and congratulations on the baby on the way.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. And that will conclude. It won't let me drag you, but that will conclude the broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight and joining us all season long. I don't know why I can't drag you now. And joining us all season long here tonight. Yeah. But we will be back tomorrow night. Well, Steve and Brett will. I don't actually know who's on the call tomorrow night for the Bluegrass Dirt Pro Late Model Series. But Cody and I will. Cody and I will. We'll be on track, and hopefully that. I'm sure that hopefully at least I'll get to talk to you. We know Cody, he ain't good enough to get up here to talk to you guys.
Absolutely
not.
not.
But
Absolutely not. Are we going to Cedar Lake tomorrow? Is that where we're going?
I have no idea. But at any rate, thank you everybody for joining us. Can't wait to see you guys back here next season. It's going to be a blast whenever they return in November. So with that, signing off, I'm BJ Duvall alongside Cody Nevin. We'll catch you guys next time.